Inside throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Red Friday, getting you ready for a very important series for the Kansas City Royals and also the final preseason game for the Kansas City Chiefs this season. We got a lot to get into. College football fans, K-State fans specifically. I don't want you to feel like you have been left out of the plan for today. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Derek Young is going to join us from Ireland. We also are going to head back to Ireland to be joined by someone who covers Iowa State. So Farmageddon fans, K-State fans, I don't want you to think that we have forgotten about you. We definitely have you covered. KU fans, we know that you play tomorrow as well. Rob will be in attendance. I will also be in attendance. And Derek Swain is also going to be in it. Michael Swain, is also going to be in attendance. Michael Swain is going to be on the show coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. So everybody gets a little bit of something today. Royals fans, you got somebody coming on today. Chiefs fans, you got somebody coming on today. K-State, KU, Iowa State fans, I hope that today's show is something that makes everybody happy. We'll get to the Royals coming up in just a bit, but before we do that, I need to remind you guys of a couple of things. Number one, I need you to remember to listen to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell two people, but if you could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would greatly appreciate it. And number three, and this is really important, I need you to remember that the open of the show each day is brought to you by our dear friends over at The Other Place with 5 metro locations, serving some hot pizza and some cold drinks. Be sure to stop by The Other Place for all your Week 0 college football action. All right, I actually want to start today with the Kansas City Royals. Now, I understand that K-State gets things going tomorrow. I understand that preseason is wrapping up, but the most important game played by anybody over the next 72 hours is actually played by the Kansas City Royals as they are trying to make the college football, the wild card, while they were trying to make the playoff. This is how I like to start today's show. We talk about this a lot when it comes to the NFL. And we talk about how at some point in the postseason, you are going to have to face your fears. If you're a team that can't stop the run, you're going to have to do so at some point to get to your ultimate goal. That same logic now applies to the Kansas City Royals and with where they are. The Royals, if the Royals miss the postseason, they will miss the postseason largely because of two things. They will miss the postseason because of the bad month of June that they had and really that 2-week stretch. The Royals went 8-18 in the month of June and only won 1 home game. So that will be a reason. The other reason will be that the Royals have been really bad against some of the better teams in Major League Baseball. The Royals this season, they are 22-37 against teams that are 500 or better. Now, let me give you some more numbers. The Royals have 34 games remaining this season. They play 19 games against teams that are currently 500 or better. And we're talking about teams that we think are going to make the postseason. A team like Toronto that might be the best team in the American League. The team that they play 6 of their next 9 games against, their division rival, the Detroit Tigers, who also have a claim to being the best team in the American League. They play Philadelphia, one of the contenders in the National League, Seattle, a team that is in direct competition with them for one of the wild card spots. If the Royals are going to be able to do this thing, and if the Royals are going to have the ability to get over the hump and get back to the postseason, they are going to have to ultimately face their fear. And their biggest challenge, the biggest struggle in 2025 for the Royals has simply been how they match up against good teams. No one is saying in these 19 games against good teams that you got to go 15-4. That's not realistic. I mean, it'd be great if you do that. You are making the postseason. But let's be realistic here. You simply can't drown when you play these games. If you can go 9-10, for example, in the 19 games that you have, You give yourself an opportunity in the remaining 15 games where you play the White Sox, you play the Angels, you play the A's, you play some of the teams that have no playoff aspirations. You got a chance to really get fat and happy off those teams and build a playoff resume and rack up enough wins to get yourself to the postseason. So the pathway is very, very simple. I love the electoral college analogy. It doesn't matter what states, how you add it up. You just got to get to a certain number of them. And some states are obviously have more votes than the other, but you get the analogy. That's where we are right now with the Royals. I don't care what 87 games you win. There's certainly some games that are easier to win than other games, but I don't care how you do it. If the Royals are going to be able to pull this thing off and they have a chance of being able to do it, you got to find a way to get to 86, 87 or better. So you simply cannot drown against the bad teams the way that you have this season, and you got to continue to swim like an Olympian in the other ones. If the Royals can't continue to do that, they will make it a very, very interesting September, and they will give themselves an opportunity to compete this October for a World Series championship. Let's talk a little bit of Chiefs, and we'll get to some college football with Derek Young coming up in just a bit. This is how I predict a lot of you guys Friday is going to go. Maybe you plan on going out there later today. And I'm sure it's going to be great. It's not that hot outside. It's beautiful. Not really a lot of clouds. I don't think there's any threat of weather later today. It is going to be ideal preseason weather. I'm guessing that some of you got that grill out for the first time to take out to the stadium. You packed that truck up and, man, you are ready to go out there and have a good time. And I'm happy for you. It's that first tailgate of the season, that first Miller Lite or that Coors Light. It hits a little bit different when you're sitting out there on that pavement ready to walk in to Arrowhead. You're getting the sights and sounds and smells of the parking lot. I'm thrilled for you to have that experience today. I do think that the Chiefs owe you a little bit on the field today. Not a lot. Because ultimately, that's not why you have season tickets. You don't have season tickets for the games in August. You have them for the games in December and January. But they do owe you a little bit. So this is what I want for you. I want you to have a delicious cheeseburger later today. Delicious. I want you to have your favorite size. I want you to sit back. I want you to have a cold beverage. I want you to play whatever games you and your friends play. Maybe you're card people. Maybe you're domino people. Maybe you like to go out there and play a little bags or ladder golf. Whatever you're into. I want you to pack up all your things. I want you to walk inside Arrowhead later today. I want you to look around, take pictures, see people you haven't seen for a while, people that they've had their season tickets next to you for years now. You haven't seen them since the last AFC Championship game. I want you to sit down in your seat. I want the Chiefs to play Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. I want them to play for exactly one series. I want them to go out there and put together a realistic drive. Hey, you know what? We're going to simulate game conditions. We're going to script our first 10 plays, and that's what we're going to run against the Bears. And if they work, great. If they don't work, you know what? We know we got something to work on, and then we're going to go on with the rest of our day. And then I want you to watch Gardner Minshew for the rest of the day. That's it. I don't want anything else for you today. I want you to go. I want you to have a great time. I want you to enjoy spending all the time with your friends. I want you to get to see Patrick Mahomes throw a couple of passes. I want him to throw one to Travis Kelce, maybe throw a deep pass to Xavier Worthy. And then I want everybody who somebody has bought a jersey of, I want them to go sit. And I want them to get ready to head to Brazil to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. That is the life that I have visioned for you. I envision a life of no preseason injuries. I envision a life of K-State going 1-0 and getting a nice favorable leg up in the Big 12. I want KU's home debut to go great tomorrow against Fresno State. I want all of those things for all of us as we head into the football season. Rob, we're going to head to Ireland coming up in just a bit, but you guys know the rules. If we talk about the Royals in the 2 o'clock hour, it can only mean one thing. Hit me, Rob.
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals. If you want to be.
Carrington, today's Random Royals lineup takes us back to the year 2013, where the Royals finished, wait for it, 86 with 86 wins, just missing the postseason, the number we think the Royals need to make this year. On this date in 2013, the Royals lost at home to the White Sox. Here was your Royals lineup.
That team probably would have made the playoffs had they had the third wild card back then.
100% would have made the playoffs. Leading off in left field, Alex Gordon.
Real. Royals All-Star, Drive All-Star.
Batting second at first base, Eric Hosmer. Batting third, the catcher, Salvador Perez.
We're getting to our era Royals now.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter, Billy Butler. Batting fifth in right field, Justin Maxwell.
I remember him. He hits the grand slam at the end of the season.
Batting sixth at third base, Mike Moustakas.
Moose.
Batting seventh in center field, Emilio Bonifacio.
I like him. I'm a fan.
Batting eighth, the shortstop, Alcides Escobar. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Jamie Carroll.
I don't remember him. I don't remember Jamie Carroll. Completely slipped my mind.
By the way, the Royals lost on this date despite 7 innings of 8 strikeout ball from James Shields, but unfortunately, Luke Hochevar blew it in the final 2 innings, and the Royals lost in 12 at home to the White Sox 4-3 in 2013.
Coming up on the other side, we are going to take our first trip of the day to Ireland to be joined by Derek Young, who covers Kansas State. What do they need to do to start the season 1-0 and get a significant leg up in the Big 12? We'll find out together. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for every single football fan. It's 24 hours of deals, and you know I love a deal, on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think is going to win MVP. Take a flyer on who you think is going to win the championship this year, and you can parlay your division dark horse candidates. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. You guys always tell me what you think. This time, put your money where your mouth is. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. So if you like Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, this is the time to take him. Or if you think the Chiefs are heading back to the big game, August 28th is a day for you. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. It's KansasGamblingHelp.com.
New Harley-Davidson Street Glides under $265 a month at Rawhide Harley. Ride out for under $265 a month on a new Street Glide at Rawhide Harley-Davidson.
Payments based on Street Glide model and base color with 30% down, 96-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
At Casey's, we're too nice to say no. So when someone asked for a free frozen drink, we said sure. Then they said every Friday all summer, and well, now we're giving away free medium frozen drinks every Friday. Free frozen Fridays with Casey's Rewards. It's not crazy, it's Casey's. See store for details.
Ready for your dream Las Vegas vacation? Enter BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you'll have the chance to win a customizable Las Vegas experience. It's easy to enter. Just sign up for a BetMGM account and download the app or log in with your existing account. Then place your bets on your favorite sports to earn up to 25 entries. You could win a trip to Vegas that includes an MGM grand stay, travel accommodations, resort credit, and your chance at an exclusive sports, entertainment, or club experience. Score the Las Vegas trip of your dreams by entering BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you could be on your way to your perfect Vegas vacation. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please make sure to read our full terms and conditions before participating in this promotion. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend.
Oh, my Bob!
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
We know there's a lot that can go on during one night of baseball. Long home runs, epic pitching performances, catches that defy space, time, and gravity.
Climbing the wall! Did he catch it? He did!
But what if you could get all of that summarized in a quick, concise, and at least we think, funny podcast that's under 10 minutes? Check out MLB.com's morning lineup. It runs Monday through Friday mornings on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you love listening most.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's head across the pond to be joined by Derek Young. He is with K-State Online. We got Farmageddon to kick off the college football season. Derek, how you doing, man? Happy to have you back on the show.
Hey, happy to be on the show. I'm, chilling here in Dublin talking to you about what is still might be the most impactful game on the Kansas State schedule despite being in week 0.
So let's just start with this. I do want to get to very serious football things, but I've never been to Ireland before. How is it?
It's, to be honest, it's like one of the cities in the United States that have a lot of foot traffic where you just expect it around the clock, whether it be New York or similar to that. That's what it is. It is foot traffic galore. It is not a place where you have a lot of cars like you're in wall-to-wall traffic or traffic jams. It's just a lot of foot traffic.
What's everybody drinking over there? Is that like a Guinness place, a Heineken place? I don't know much about the local scene, the beer scene over there. I'm imagining it's very popular. What are people drinking over there?
It's a lot of Guinness, around the clock Guinness. But if you're going to stray from beer, there's Jameson's pretty popular as well.
How many people do you think from Kansas State are over there? Because, this is something that I imagine both fan bases have had circle for quite some time now. This is a bucket list kind of trip to see your team in this environment. How many K-State fans do you think made the trip?
It was probably through the school or through Aer Lingus, but I know that they said that both schools sold around 13 to 15,000 tickets was the last number that I heard. I wouldn't surprise me if it's a little bit more than that, if other people got their tickets in maybe an alternative way. But I know that they're anticipating a near sellout or a sellout once kickoff gets here.
Right now, we're talking to Derek Young. He's with Kansas State Online, taking a closer look at the Week 0 game between the Wildcats and the Cyclones. All right, let's get to business. Let's get down to football. I'm really excited about this game. I don't really think you could start the season with Week 0 with a much more important conference game. These are two teams that are ranked in the top 25, two teams that have very good coaches, very comparable quarterbacks, very comparable running backs. These two teams are about as even as I think you could ask for to kick off the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I believe, at least since it's been called the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, that this is the first time that the two teams playing in the game are both ranked in the AP poll, both in the top 25. Obviously, Kansas State 17, I believe the Cyclones sitting there at number 22. So it's a pretty big game just when you put those numbers across the table and show everyone that. But it's also a pretty big game when it comes to the conference. I mean, Kansas State's going to play all three of Iowa State, Baylor, and Utah away from home this year, even though this one is actually considered a home game. And I think those will be the most pivotal probably in determining whether or not Kansas State's in Arlington playing for a Big 12 championship or not, to be honest. So it's interesting in that way. And like you said, pretty even teams in terms of caliber. Both teams returned their starting quarterback. Iowa State is Rocco Beck. Kansas State has Avery Johnson. Both teams looking to replace maybe a hole in their team. With Iowa State, it's the receivers. They lose both Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, who will be collecting NFL paychecks this year. Kansas State also has the secondary to figure out and maybe a little bit of the offensive line.
Where did this rivalry come from? And I guess maybe more specifically, how did this rivalry get so competitive? Because I'm just remembering as a kid, I don't really feel like it was that big of a deal, but it really feels like it's taken on a life of its own over the last 10 years or so. These two fan bases love to go back and forth. They've got a nickname for the game now. How did we get here between K-State and Iowa State?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it started with the fan bases kind of going at it on social media. It's a new era now in college athletics, or just the world in general, where social media can kind of contrive or derive certain things. And in a way, I think it's responsible for the rivalry between both Kansas State and Iowa State, and even the genesis of the Farmageddon name. We need to get that name probably more and more popular, to be honest. It's not as popular as it should be, but another part of it is the competition aspect. It's not as lopsided as it once was. Kansas State dominated this rivalry for years and years and years. Bill Snyder just didn't lose to Iowa State. He didn't lose to a lot of teams. Iowa State was one of those. And now with Matt Campbell now in Ames, he's really made this competitive. In fact, he's almost turned it on its head. Iowa State's won 4 of the last 5 meetings.
Right now, we're talking to Derek Young, taking a closer look at K-State and Iowa State. That is going to be the first game of the college football season. I do want to hyper focus in on K-State. I've got a general Big 12 question that I want to get to before we do that. How many teams do you think can win the Big 12? Because Rob and I were sitting here and going through it. I think the answer is probably somewhere between 5 to 17. This feels about as wide open as I can remember for this league.
I would agree. You got Kansas State, Iowa State, Arizona State, and Texas Tech off the top of my head. Some people want to include Baylor. Some people want to include Utah. So that's an easy 6 in my mind. I might even be missing a team that's certainly worthy of contention as well. I know some people thought maybe if Jake Retzloff was still on the roster, maybe you point to BYU. I was never kind of that guy, to be honest. I thought BYU did it last year with a lot of smoke and mirrors. And even with Jake Retzloff was probably a candidate for a little bit of regression. I actually don't think there's a big difference in BYU between having Retzloff and not having Retzloff. But even without the Cougars, I think you're looking at, Utah, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Baylor, Kansas State, Iowa State, a lot of teams that can win the conference. And last year you looked at the league at the end, I think there was, 4 teams tied at 7-2. It wouldn't be a shock to see that once again.
I think this is what the Big 12 future looks like, and I don't mean this with any disrespect towards Kansas State, but the Big 12 just doesn't have that traditional football power the way that the other conferences do. There's no Clemson in the Big 12. There's no Ohio State. There's no Alabama. You get the point that I'm making. I think there's going to be years a lot like this year. I really like K-State. I really like Arizona State, but I don't think you can consider them to be the odds-on favorite. It feels like it comes down to a lot of swing games like the one we have on Saturday between these two teams that feels like a coin flip, and whichever team wins that, they have a significant advantage the rest of the way.
Yeah, there was a lot of years where if you were asked, would you take Clemson or the field to win the ACC, you were automatically picking Clemson. Maybe in Alabama's heyday with Nick Saban as head coach, if it was Alabama or the field, you pick Alabama. And maybe you still will. I think the interesting thing with the SEC is they talk about the depth, and rightfully so. It's a really good conference with a lot of good teams that would all probably be at the top of the Big 12 if they were in the Big 12 conference. But Georgia and Alabama have won 10 of the last 11 conference titles. So, but if you're in the Big 12, is there a team where you pick over the field? There's not a single team you pick over the field. What I am curious about moving forward in the Big 12 is there a team or two that maybe flexes their financial muscle? If teams can still do that, I'd imagine, even with some of the rules that are trying to be implemented, that will still be a thing. Because if so, then Texas Tech and BYU are going to be interesting case studies.
Taking a closer look now at K-State, I really like Avery Johnson. I don't think he's taken that next step to kind of be in that household names that people around the country will get to know him. Like, he's not a DJ Lagway, not Lenore Sellers, at least in terms of like public consciousness. What do you think he needs to do this season to enter that conversation and be a guy that people are talking about as a dark horse Heisman candidate? And if that ends up being the case, K-State wins the Big 12, in my opinion.
I don't know about you or anyone else, but it's exactly what he actually said at a recent press conference, which I loved hearing. He said, I'm done feeling like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm just going to make the right play, the accurate play. I'm not going to try to do too much. I'm not going to try to make the play that's not there. I'm also not going to listen to everybody outside of my sphere of influence that says, you got to be a pocket passer, or you got to be a dual threat quarterback that just runs it all the time. Instead, I'm going to be that quarterback that makes the correct play, the right play. So if we need me to win, to run for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns to win, I'm going to do that. If we need me to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns to win, I'm going to do that. That was really something that I liked hearing, because I do think he gets himself trapped, at least last year at times, in being a pocket passer. I'm going to prove to people that I'm not just a runner, or I'm going to prove to people that I can still run. Enough with that. Just make the right play, the correct play, whatever it calls for, to win games. And to hear him have that answer in a recent press conference, I think was great, as long as he actually is going to adhere to it. But I think that's just what it is. I think that's the secret sauce.
Derek, which quarterback would you rather have in this matchup? Would you rather have Rocco Becht or Avery Johnson?
Probably Avery Johnson, because there's just more upside there, and I still think the floor is probably pretty similar to Rocco Becht. Maybe Rocco Becht was the better quarterback last year. Certainly the numbers would probably show that. Interestingly enough, though, you go look in the Kansas State-Iowa State game last year, that the Cyclones won 29-21. Rocco Becht played the worst game of his career. He was 13 of 35 and probably should have threw 4 interceptions. I think the floors are pretty similar, and that's why Becht was a better quarterback last year. But I think Avery can be much better, has a higher ceiling than what Becht has.
Which coach would you rather have? Would you rather have Kleiman or Campbell?
I'd rather have Chris Kleiman, but in this series, especially if Iowa State wins again on Saturday, I'd rather have Campbell. Just in this particular game for whatever reason. But in general, I think Chris Kleiman's the right answer. I just don't know that it's really came out that way in their head-to-head competition.
I'll get you out of here with this last question, because I want you to go enjoy everything that Ireland has to offer. Give me your K-State wins-if scenario. Give me your Iowa State wins-if scenario.
K-State wins if they're at least +1 in the turnover margin. The interesting thing is they've lost 4 or 5 to Iowa State. In 5 of those games, all 5, Kansas State's turned the ball over at least twice. And 4 of those 5, Iowa State doesn't have a turnover at all. So, I mean, that's a significant piece of this rivalry lately is the turnovers, for whatever reason, are going Iowa State's way. So Kansas State wins if they protect the ball, and they're probably at least +1 in turnover margin. Maybe it's +2, but I'll say +1. Iowa State wins if Rocco Becht plays the way he did against everyone else against Kansas State, because he was nothing really short of a disaster last year. And Iowa State still won, but I don't think they can win with Rocco Beck's performance last year.
That is Derek Young of Kansas State Online joining us on the show today. K-State, they kick off the college football season against Iowa State. Derek, great stuff, man. Enjoy Ireland, and I hope you guys come back to the States with the win.
Thanks, Carrington.
Absolutely. That is Derek Young joining us on the show today. He is with Kansas State Online. A shout out to the Wildcats as they are across the pond playing the Iowa State Cyclones. Let's talk a little NFL. We'll bounce back and forth. Vern's going to be on the show. We're going to head back to Ireland coming up in a bit and get the Iowa State perspective on tomorrow's game. We're going to have someone on from KU to celebrate their new stadium. So we're going to touch on a lot of different topics in today's show. Let's talk a little bit of NFL before we get back to college football, Rob. You know I love a good relationship analogy, and I'm sure you've been in this situation before. I think a lot of people have been in this situation before. You are in a relationship with somebody else, and for whatever reason, that relationship just didn't work. You decided to go your way. She decided to go their way, and it was not contentious. You guys don't hate each other. It just didn't work. Maybe that person then went on to get married to the exact next person that they were in a relationship with. For whatever reason, they found the person that they connected with. And they went on to have a beautiful marriage. They got a couple of kids now. They live in a beautiful home. They got a good job. And you are happy for that person because even though it didn't work out for you, it worked out for them, and you cool with that. That's how I feel about the Chiefs and Sky Moore. I don't think the Chiefs fans are angry. I don't think there's any reason to be angry. It just didn't work. Everybody knows that you are not going to shoot 100% from the field when it comes to the NFL draft. You're going to miss on first-round picks. You're going to miss on second-round picks, this, that, and the third. So there's no reason to get overly angry or up in arms about it. You still have managed to be okay, even though you missed on a second-round pick for Sky Moore. But let's not confuse things. He is one of the biggest misses that the Chiefs have ever had in the NFL draft. But he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He seems to have a really good attitude, never caused any problems, seems to be a good teammate, seems to be a good guy. There's no reason for you to be angry or upset that the draft pick just didn't work. And back to the relationship analogy, I don't care what happens with Sky Moore in San Francisco. There will never be a topic that we are going to have 5 months from now, 2 years from now. Well, why couldn't the Chiefs make it work with Sky Moore? I think they did everything to make it work with Sky Moore. It just didn't. For whatever reason, it just didn't work in Kansas City. So I say good luck to Sky Moore in San Francisco. I don't care if he turns out to be Julian Edelman. I don't care if he turns out to be Jerry Rice. It was never going to work in Kansas City. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how much you wanted it to work, he was never going to work in Kansas City. So it was in everybody's best interest for him to just go play for another team. You don't got to be mad about it. You don't got to be upset about it. You just can't play in Kansas City. I believe that at the end, it was way more mental than physical. I really do. Maybe Sky Moore still has a chance of figuring things out. I don't know mentally if he was ever going to figure things out in Kansas City. Maybe the way to be in the second-round pick and not living up to that expectations, whatever it was. I mean, we're talking about dropping routine balls that you've caught the entire time, or less you wouldn't have been in the National Football League. I think he got off to a slow start. It got in his head, and he has never been able to turn that around in Kansas City. Best case scenario is now you go to a new system, a new city, a new scheme, a new head coach. You can clear your mind. You can start over. You're no longer the failed second-round pick. Now you're a guy that they got for a bag of balls, and you can go out there and just play free and loose. But this is the end of Sky Moore's career if this doesn't work out. If you get an opportunity to play in Kansas City's offense and San Francisco's offense and it doesn't work, I'm telling you right now that it's time to update your LinkedIn. You ain't staying in the NFL for too much longer. What do they say? The average career is what, 2.5, 3.5 years? Yeah, man. Not everybody gets that 8-year career. Not everybody gets that 9-year career. Some guys get a cup of coffee here, a cup of coffee there. It didn't work, and now you got to go pick up a regular 9-to-5 like the rest of us. Sky Moore is potentially one bad season away from that being the case. But I'm not rooting against Sky Moore. In fact, I'm rooting for Sky Moore. I hope that it works. He ain't never done nothing to me. He's never done anything to you. I don't have any reason to root against that man. But I'm telling you, it's never going to work in Kansas City. I know it. You know it. He knew it. Kansas City knew it. And it was in everybody's best interest for them to part ways and him to get a fresh, clean start somewhere else.
This show loves a cross-sport comparison, so I'll make one for you. I remember Brad Lidge. He was a closer for the Astros and the Phillies. Brad Lidge gave up one of the most monumental home runs I think I've ever seen in the MLB postseason. You'll remember the one. It was to Albert Pujols. They're in the NLCS. He's on the Astros, and Pujols hits one at whatever the name of that ballpark was at the time, over the train tracks. It was over for Brad Lidge in Houston right then and there. He wasn't as good for them after that. He just was shook. Whatever happened, he was mentally cooked after being in the NLCS, facing Albert Pujols, and giving up that home run in that moment. And that's where a lot of people think the story ended. But you know what? Brad Lidge went on to be a good closer and won a World Series for the Philadelphia Phillies. Good for him. That's how I feel about Sky Moore. It did not work in Kansas City. And we can point to moments where, hey, he looked mentally like it was fried. Early in his career, there was clearly the weight of the world on his shoulders because the amount of muff punts he has is just surprising for a guy who has been a punt returner in the past. The drop in the preseason game on a wide open play. Eventually, it just got mental, like you said. But there's no reason he can't be Brad Lidge. There's no reason he can't go to San Francisco and be a 400 to 600 yard receiver and a productive NFL player and resurrect his career. Those guys exist all the time in the National Football League. We can count them. Hey, so-and-so didn't work here, but he went here and went great. Chiefs fans think everyone that comes here is that person. Hey, a lot of people think Tyquan Thornton could be that person for the Chiefs right now. I hope that for Sky Moore. I hope a chance to reset, change of scenery, whatever you want to call it, gets him back to the player he was. Because it wasn't just the Chiefs reaching. It wasn't like draft notebooks and people like, who do the Mel Kiper had him as an 5th to 6th round grade and the Chiefs reached. He was considered a 2nd to 3rd round pick, and he has not lived up to that at all. I hope the best for him. I hope he can resurrect his career, much like Brad Lidge did for the Phillies.
Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, do you think that Sky gets cheers or jeers the next time he plays at Arrowhead? I think there would be light cheers for Sky Moore. I don't think there's any reason to give him a standing ovation. I also just don't think there's a reason to boo him. It just didn't work. I think he gets some claps. He gets some applause. He has scored a touchdown in a Super Bowl. He is a part of Super Bowl championship winning teams. Never had any off the field issues. He hasn't really done anything for you to dislike him at all. You haven't done anything to dislike Sky Moore. He just didn't work out as an NFL player. So that's it. Someone said, I saw a tweet that said that Sky Moore has immediately become San Francisco's best punt returner. How awful was their room? I got asked to do an interview yesterday in San Francisco. At first, I kind of thought I was being punked. I'm like, wait, you want me to come on and talk about Sky Moore? And then I tried to get out of it. I said, well, I don't really have much to say. There really wasn't much to talk about. And, we want to talk to you. I was like, all right. I don't think it's going to be that long of an interview. I don't know if that's something we would do on this show. I don't think we would have an interview for the Sky Moore equivalent of whoever they got. But, I'm not here to judge anybody else's show. I was happy to go on there, happy to give them my opinion, happy to give them my thoughts on what they thought. So good luck to Sky Moore as he turns the page, and he is now the newest member of the San Francisco 49ers. Coming up on the other side, let's get back to college football. We just left Ireland. We're going back to Ireland to be joined by Iowa State. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, football season is right around the corner. So that means whether you're watching your favorite college team or maybe you're watching the pros play, you're going to have people over and you're going to have your own watch parties. Well, if you plan on having a watch party this fall, make sure that includes the best barbecue in town at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic Gates barbecue taste. And let me tell you, the last time I was there, I got the burnt E Mac, absolutely phenomenal. Now, I'm a mixed plate kind of guy, but now I got to make sure I get that on the side. I got to make sure that I get that burnt E Mac. I put a little bit of the sauce in there. I mix it all up. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely delicious. Maybe you like to get your own grilling done during the football season. Well, you can still incorporate Gates Barbecue into that. Next time you're at the grocery store, make sure you go get some of the Gates sauce. Also, make sure that you go get some of the Gates seasoning. You can get that at any area local grocery store. It's Carrington here telling you, when football season around, with tailgate season right around the corner, I know you're going to be doing some grilling. And if you plan on doing some grilling or even eating some barbecue at the function, make sure that it includes Gates Barbecue.
Dane and Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're gonna love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Dane and Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Hi, it's Christina with Piropos Restaurant on the hill at Briarcliff. When you dine at Piropos, you love the cuisine we mastered from Argentina, like our famous empanadas, crab bisque, peppercorn encrusted filet, and so much more. But we prepare to say wow with our stunning hilltop views overlooking downtown Kansas City. Be playful and enjoy life at Piropos Fordine. Go to piroposkc.com or call 816-741-3600.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. The Subaru A Lot to Love event.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hey, it's Gold. I wanted to once again tell you about the 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat I've been driving thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford. It made the drive up to training camp so easy. Not only is it fully loaded, ventilated seats after a hot show up at camp. Trust me, the cooled seats are amazing. But also Blue Cruise, where it's hands-free driving on the highway. So go into Shawnee Mission Ford and test drive a vehicle and take advantage of the Labor Day sales event. 0% for 48 months, no payments for 90 days with approved credit on most new Ford vehicles. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. See dealer website for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Today we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 85.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Welcome back into the show. We'll get back to the Royals coming up at the top of the hour, but let's continue getting you ready for Farmageddon in Dublin, Ireland. This is the first time that Over in Ireland they get 2 ranked opponents. One of those teams is Kansas State. We were just there. The other team is Iowa State. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Alec Bussey. He is the co-host of First Quarter from 6 to 9 on KXNO in Des Moines, also the Iowa Radio Network. He also covers Iowa State for 24/7 Sports. Alec, happy to have you join us today. I think this is the perfect week 0 game. We got a rivalry, 2 ranked opponents, 2 good coaches, 2 good quarterbacks. This is an ideal way to kick off the college football season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge opportunity for each team to start the season. Both teams are ranked in the top 25, so getting an opportunity to have a win over a program that you think can contend for a Big 12 championship or could contend for a college football playoff spot is certainly something that's really exciting to think about for each program. It's the first time that these 2 schools are playing as ranked opponents since 2002, when number 12 K-State beat number 22 Iowa State by, I think, a 58-7 final score in Manhattan. So it's rare that these 2 teams are both ranked in the top 25 when they play. They've played a lot of competitive games over the last decade. I think if you go back to 2013, all but 2 or 3 of them have been decided by 8 or 9 points or less. So certainly an exciting opportunity for each team to start the year on a strong foot. And then beyond that, it's a big opportunity to start the year in front of a national audience with a lot of people paying attention to the success that you're having.
This is one of those rivalries that I don't think you understand it unless you live it and you're from the area. I actually think this is the best rivalry that the country doesn't know anything about. These 2 fan bases don't really seem to like each other, and you alluded to it. They normally play really fun, really competitive games. I don't know if you could ask for a much better week 0 matchup than this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really exciting. I mean, it's the first time that the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, the game in Ireland, has had 2 ranked teams. It's really the first time that they've had 2 rival opponents play over there, too. I mean, Notre Dame and Navy play annually, but I don't know if people would consider Notre Dame-Navy a quote-unquote rivalry as much as you would Iowa State-Kansas State. In terms of the series history, I mean, it's pretty special. They've played annually since 1917, so they survived the end of World War I. It survived all of World War II, the Great Depression, and more recently, they even played during the COVID season, despite K-State's roster being in a pretty precarious spot because of some illness that they were fighting during that year, which led to Iowa State, who was very good in that 2020 season, blowing out Kansas State. But, yeah, I mean, I think that it's certainly an exciting game. It's a series that, like I said, over the past 10 to 12 years has been super competitive in terms of the closeness of the games, and Iowa State's managed to come out on top in 4 out of the last 5, but it's a series that you know you're going to get close games. It's 2 coaching staffs and 2 programs that are built on very similar identities, very similar philosophies, and it's 2 fan bases who have a lot of differences, right, in the way that they support their college football teams, but at their core, they're very, very similar. They're both land-grant institutions. They're both institutions that are very proud of their agricultural success as institutions, in both ranking in the top 20 in that kind of area of education in the U.S. now. So I guess similarity breeds contempt in this sense between the 2 schools, and it's really fun to see the rivalry really grow over the last decade as social media has allowed the 2 fan bases to interact more often.
Right now, we're talking to Alec Bussey. He is the co-host of the First Quarter in KXNO in Des Moines, also with the Iowa Radio Network. He also writes for Iowa State and the 24/7 Sports site. 2-part question here. How many teams do you think realistically can win the Big 12? Why do you think Iowa State is one of those teams?
Yeah, I think that if you really go through the Big 12 from a team-by-team perspective, you can probably get close to double digits in terms of teams that you feel like can potentially win the league. I think certainly you feel like Arizona State is in that conversation. I think you probably feel like Iowa State is in that conversation. I can talk about them a little bit more in a second. I'm bullish on Utah. I picked them to go play for a Big 12 title. Baylor has a more difficult schedule this year, but I think that they're a team that many expect to be in the top 5. Texas Tech has invested in their roster at a higher level than any team in the conference, spending about $25 million on players. K-State is obviously in that conversation. I think they're the betting favorite this year. TCU is a team that quietly won 9 games a year ago. They returned the most productive passer in the league in Josh Hoover. They did have a really easy schedule last year. TCU did, but Sonny Dykes has done a good job of obviously building that program. Even if you want to look back and look past the national championship year, they've had a pretty steady build. I'm not nearly as bullish on Kansas or Colorado. Some people think BYU can be in that conversation. Many think Houston is a potential sleeper along with Cincinnati. But yeah, I think it's a conference that's really deep, and the reason to buy stock in Iowa State is Matt Campbell's success leading the program. Obviously, they've been to a bowl game in 7 of the last 9 seasons under his direction. He's won over half of Iowa State's all-time Big 12 games as their head coach, and Rocco Becht is a big reasons to be confident, as well as he returns for a third year as Iowa State's starting quarterback. And then on the defensive side, you've got some stars in defensive tackle Dominique Orange, defensive backs Jontez Williams, and Jeremiah Cooper.
Alec, we ask people this. You're the first person I get a chance to ask this to this football season. Give me how K-State wins this game. Give me how Iowa State wins this game.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar for each team. On the K-State side of things, I think it comes down to being able to hit explosive plays. We know that Avery Johnson has a really high ceiling as a quarterback, especially if he refined some of the things that he struggled with a year ago. I think decision-making, his accuracy is something that you would certainly like to see improved. Jace Brown last year was one of the most explosive receivers in the Big 12 and really the country. He ranked near the top of the nation in both catches of 40 and 50 yards last year. I believe top 5 or 6 in both of those categories. So explosive plays, I think it's something that K-State's really going to be focused on. And if they're able to hit on those things, that'll be really important. And then for Iowa State, I think it's really important for them to stay ahead of the chains. They have to replace 2 1,000-yard receivers, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. Both of those guys were day 2 NFL draft picks by the Houston Texans. But Iowa State feels confident in the receivers that they have replacing those 2 guys. But you want to make it easier on Rocco Becht and those new pass catchers that they don't have to have large chunk gains on conversion downs, third downs, the long fourth downs, right? Like you want to have the ability to stay ahead of the chains. And I think being able to run the ball is really key for the running backs and the offense as a whole. And then I think for both teams, this is what's really important in this series, and it's been this way for a while, and you can say this for every game, but in this one in particular, I think it's important. It's not making mistakes. Last year, Avery Johnson gets sacked in the end zone for a safety in the fourth quarter. On the first play from scrimmage, he has a lateral that hits the ground and Iowa State recovers it. And those things greatly contributed to Iowa State being able to defeat Kansas State last year. And they played really close games, and in close games, those types of plays really show up as difference makers. So the team that I think really makes less mistakes and is really sharp in their execution is going to be the team that escapes victorious here on Saturday in Ireland.
Alec, I'm looking forward to a great game, man. Again, I think this is the perfect way to kick off the college football season. Excited about a great year in the Big 12, in which I feel like it's going to be pretty unpredictable and go down to the final couple of weeks. Great stuff, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
That was Alec Bussey. He covers Iowa State football. Coming up at the top of the hour, let's get back to the Kansas City Royals as they have a very important series this weekend against the Detroit Tigers. We also have an update regarding the World Cup. We'll tell you about it more. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Get ready, KC! August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsightc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Hey, it's Gold, and Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week, 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread, lasts the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Even on weekends and holidays, Anthony shows up. Expect reliable HVAC, plumbing, or electric service, plus a new HVAC system from $150 a month. Schedule your free consultation at AnthonyPHCE.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Tune in Saturday, August 23rd for K-State and Iowa State, live from Dublin, with pregame starting at 9, kickoff at 11, on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. KU fans, we have not forgotten about you. You guys also play in Week 0. You guys have your home opener, your stadium opener tomorrow against Fresno State. I will be in attendance. Rob will also be in attendance. And Michael Swain will also be there as well. We'll catch up with him coming up momentarily. We'll also get back to the Chiefs. We're doing a lot of bouncing around because there is a lot of things that is currently going on in sports. So we're really excited to be here with you today on this wonderful, wonderful Friday. Chiefs fans, I have not forgot about you in your preseason game. We'll get to that coming up momentarily. But I got to update you. So, Rob, please inform me of what this is. FIFA has announced the final draw. This is December 5th. Now, my understanding of this final draw is we are going to find out exactly who is going to be playing in Kansas City. We know that we are going to be hosting World Cup games. That was decided a long time ago. We just don't know what teams are coming to Kansas City. So my understanding is that we are going to find out in a couple of months of who the teams are going to be. Are there some countries that you want to see potentially play here in Kansas City? I think we got to be realistic about this thing. We're probably not getting Brazil, probably not getting the United States. I'm sure there's some top tier countries that I'm just guessing they're going to put them in maybe more ideal destinations for a touristy city. But it doesn't matter. You're hosting the World Cup. You're going to get a handful of pretty good teams here in Kansas City. Is there somebody that you like or you think is realistic for this market to get?
So first things first, I'll put this in layman's terms for people who don't follow soccer, because that's fine. Basically, on December 5th is the same as the NCAA tournament selection show. They are going to be in D.C. announcing all the groups. Here are the teams. Here's where they go. This, that, and the other. It's basically a selection committee process. That is what is happening on December 5th. It'll be at the Kennedy Center in D.C. So that's what they announced today. As far as realistic teams to see, I mean, there are just teams that are going to be available to see. Yes, I imagine that Brazil is probably not going to be on the list. I would doubt Argentina ends up in Kansas City. But looking at the teams who are already qualified, and there are 13 already qualified teams, I would have no problem seeing some of these teams. Like, I think it'd be fun to see an Ecuador who has some top flight players. I would love England just because of the sheer economic boom the city will see. I would like to see a European power, a Spain maybe, a Netherlands maybe. Netherlands would be really fun. Like, there are some teams that I think are on that second tier of, powerhouses in across soccer that would be really fun to see here. But for layman's terms, December 5th is the NCAA Selection Committee show.
We'll get back to the Royals coming up in a bit. Let's continue the theme of Arrowhead. So we're going to find out in December what teams are going to play in the World Cup. We'll find out later today if the Chiefs win their final preseason game of the year. Fans were already lined up, couldn't wait to be in attendance to tailgate for tonight's game.
I'm Krista Tatchell, and there they go. Hundreds and hundreds of Chiefs fans making their way into the last preseason game. They are lined up since before 10 this morning. The game doesn't kick off until 7:20 tonight against the Bears, but this group, they are ready to go.
You know what? I don't have any problems with this. Now, I think you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of preseason football. I love football, don't get me wrong. It's just something about football that just doesn't matter. This is glorified football practice. I mean, I love the game, but practice? We talking about practice, man. I'm all for you tailgating for a practice on a nice day. Let's think about what tailgating is. It's a football picnic. No one says it's weird for you to have a picnic when it's beautiful outside. In fact, that's when it's ideal. You and your lady, you go outside, you put a blanket down, you're under a nice shade tree, you're eating sandwiches and Doritos and telling each other stories and wiping the mayonnaise and mustard off each other's face. It's love. I don't understand the picnics when it's cold outside. Now, I get the games are more important, but you know what I don't have any interest in doing? I don't have any interest in being outside in December eating ribs. That doesn't make any sense to me. This makes sense. It's a Friday. Hey, why don't we go ahead and take Friday off, and why don't we go outside and have ourselves a nice football-themed barbecue? Nothing wrong with that. I'm all for a good outdoor warm weather activity. This gets Carrington's seal of approval. Now, again, you're showing a level of excitement that I don't have. You're up at 10 a.m. for the third preseason game of the year outside. Again, that's a level of enthusiasm I don't possess, but I understand it. I am also excited that football is back. I also enjoy a picnic. I enjoy ribs and a cold brew. And if that's what you plan on doing today, That makes sense to me. If you're listening to the show and you're at one of these festivities, I want to tell you that I thank you and I appreciate you. And I'm not judging you for this. I will judge you in December. I'll judge you in January when it's freezing cold outside. Remember that game against the Dolphins? People were outside tailgating. It's deathly cold out here. Why are you out here sitting down eating? But I'm not going to judge you today. Enjoy your day. Have a great day outside. Speaking of the weather, Vinny Pasquantino is red hot. We looked this up. Over the last 162 regular season games for Vinny, he is hitting .260 with 34 home runs and 119 RBIs in the last full calendar for Vinny Pasquantino. I don't know how much of the slow start you can attribute to the hand injury. I do think it was a timing, confidence issue. But the Vinny that was playing leading up to the injury and the Vinny that's been playing for this team for, I don't know, the last 60, 65 games or so, that's a cornerstone of your offense. If you're telling me that the future is Bobby Witt Jr., Vinny Pasquantino, you get Jack Caglione, and he's starting to hit the ground running, and he looks like the prospect that people were talking about, you've moved Jonathan India to the correct spot. I really like what they've done with their lineup. Just getting more complete at-bats is what they've gotten over the last 2-3 weeks or so. This is a Vinny Pasquantino that you obviously can live with and can be a cornerstone and a guy that if you decided right now to make a big investment in, you wouldn't feel bad about that investment at all. I don't think you need to right now, not with 3 arbitration years. Now, if you want to do to him what the Royals did to Cole Reagans or what they did to Hunter Dozier a few years back, then yeah, of course, you can do that. Buy out his arbitration, throw a little bit of money on top, show him how much you love and appreciate him, and eliminate the arbitration process. I certainly understand that, but it's hard to argue with what you got from Vinny, his age and his production in the last 162 games, Rob. He is hitting .260 with 34 home runs and 119 RBIs. He's been one of the better young hitters in baseball.
I don't want this to come off like I'm blaming Vinny Pasquantino for the early season struggles, but I think when the Royals this offseason, or I guess last offseason now, were building their team, they felt like going into the year, they have a known commodity in Vinny. They have a known commodity in Salvador Perez. They have a known commodity in Bobby Witt Jr. If they can get Maikel Garcia going and playing better, and they could get the combination of some Massey and or Melendez going, they felt like their offense was going to be pretty good again. And for 6 months, they were wrong. They just were. They were wrong about Massey. They were wrong about Melendez. They picked the wrong leadoff hitter. Like, they have to wear the fact they were wrong. But you see now how the plan, when it comes together, was supposed to look. Because the Vinny Pasquantino we are seeing right now, not the one we saw in April, not the one we saw in May, but the one you've seen in June, July, and August is a absolute middle-of-the-lineup run producer that you will pencil in. You won't even pencil in. You'll use Sharpie to write his name in the 3 or 4 spot every day, and you feel super comfortable. That guy is good for 20-plus homers, 85-plus RBIs every single season. Lock it in. Great in the community, great in the clubhouse, all those things. I see now the Royals' vision, and it's clear with the advantage of hindsight that he definitely wasn't ready last postseason with the injury, and I think it took some time to get comfortable again and then get his timing back and all those things. But now that he has it, you see the guy the Royals were banking on, because he is not a star, but he is a couple notches below that and a really big run producer for this Royals offense.
I mean, you can really see the vision with the Royals. If the vision is Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best players in baseball, Vinny is his running mate, his right hand, and if you can get Jack Caglione and you feel like that's your 2, 3, 4 for the foreseeable future, and now it's about building around that, continuing to keep the rotation the way that it's been the last couple of years, and just putting pieces and moving them around. I mean, this is a very, very solid foundation you feel like you are currently building with the Kansas City Royals. Again, we just gave you the numbers on Vinny Pasquantino. He has been absolutely on fire. We also told you that the Royals, they have 34 games remaining this season. 19 of those games are against teams that are 500 or better. They have a couple series against the Tigers, a series against Cleveland, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Toronto. The Royals, against games And in games against teams who are 500 or better, they are 22-37 so far this season. If the Royals are going to get back to the postseason, they're going to have to overcome their fear. They're going to have to be able to stand toe-to-toe with playoff teams. They have not been able to do that for the most part this season. We'll see if they can do that down the stretch, as the Royals certainly have more than a puncher's chance of making the postseason. We are going to head to Lawrence, Kansas coming up in this hour. KU, they have their home stadium opener as they host Fresno State. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory.
Tiger, Dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
A blood emergency has been declared in the Kansas City region, and donors are urgently needed. Now through August 26th, donate with Community Blood Center and be entered to win tickets to the Chiefs home opener. Visit savealifenow.org or call 877-468-6844 to schedule your donation today.
As summer temperatures are winding down, the final push of the season is heating up. With 1 month to go, the division-leading Tigers are coming to the K. They've got Cy Young pitching, all-star defense, and power at the plate. But when they take on the Royals August 29th through the 31st, there's one thing they won't have: their fans in the stands. So bring your playoff spirit and take home a different gate giveaway with each critical game. Reserve your seats at royals.com/tickets.
Football is back. Labor Day is around the corner, and Hy-Vee is ready for fall. Stock up on all your fall favorites during the gigantic 3-day sale this Friday through Sunday. Invite your friends and fire up the grill with Bar S Franks just 98 cents a pack. Doritos chips just $2.99, Pepsi 24-pack cans for $10.99, and Brew Pub Pizza just $4.99 each. Let's go, you fans of fall. Rush to the gigantic 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I love saving money, and Hy-Vee is always finding new ways to save me some dough, like the new lower prices in every department, and one of my favorite things, the fuel savers. Just the other day, we saved $1.10 per gallon on gas with the fuel savers at Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and seeing those fuel savers, getting those products, and saving that money. Don't miss the special fuel saver deal on Monday, August 25th. Stock up your cart and earn stackable fuel savings on every dollar you spend. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Only at Hy-Vee.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zycam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zycam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zycam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zycam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zycam.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Good afternoon. Working a multi-car crash down south 435 eastbound just before Metcalf. It is the right lane blocked and the opposite side of the freeway affected there as well. The inside lane, a stall in Grandview 49 northbound on the ramp to Maine. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we are going to head to Lawrence, Kansas to be joined by Michael Swain. He works for 24/7 Sports. He covers the Jayhawks. The Jayhawks also play in Week 0. They host Fresno State. It is the season opener, stadium opener for the Jayhawks. Rob, where's the level of excitement for this? This is why I asked the question. And we'll talk NFL here coming up in a bit. This is why I asked the question. I think since COVID, KU has had like 4 really big football moments. And tell me if I'm off base here. They hosted College Game Day this decade. Now, I know they didn't win the game, but just a sellout crowd. College Game Day is there. They've never been to Lawrence, Kansas before. That's a really, really big deal that you got that opportunity. So that's one of those moments. I would say the win against Texas. I believe it was Jared Casey, the tight end. He then catches the game-winning touchdown. KU was a big storyline for a week after they went on the road and beat Texas. I feel like last year it's either the win against Colorado or BYU, whichever one you want to say. Because at the end, it felt like KU was really playing spoiler. BYU had college football playoff aspirations. KU ended that. Colorado was in the mix to make the college football playoff. KU put a stop to that as well. It felt like they really kind of found some momentum toward the end of the season. And tomorrow, that's a really, really big deal to be opening up a new stadium, Week 0. People are just hungry for football. People are watching preseason football. If you watch preseason football, you will definitely watch Kansas against Fresno State. There's no question in my mind you will watch it. I think it's a good game. This is the kind of game that KU should open its season with. Now, you always love if you play another Power 4 school, and KU has those teams in the non-con. They play Missouri in a couple of weeks. But I'm talking about KU playing a good Power 5 school that we all heard of that has a football tradition at home to open up a new stadium. You can't be mad at that game if you're a college football fan. You certainly can't be mad at that game if you're a KU fan and you bought a ticket to go watch them play in a sold-out environment tomorrow.
I would tell you that fan excitement, it's not to the level it was for game day. That's an extreme. But remember that same season they had game day, KU hosted Duke, and it was the first time they had sold out a game at the old stadium in like 15 years because just it was dire straits for people in Lawrence to watch football. I think excitement is at that level. There's a quality opponent coming in town, not quality like, oh man, here comes Bama, but this is not some, total pushover. It's going to be a real football game. You get the combination of the new stadium, you're on national television, you got a good TV window, weather's going to be good, and you get this gorgeous new stadium opening and the team, there's a little bit of buzz around. Like, I would say excitement on a scale 1 to 10 is like a 7.5, 8. you could be more excited if it's, K-State fans should be more excited about Saturday than KU fans are. But KU fans are really excited to see this. And I was talking to some friends about this. Tomorrow is a culmination of everything Travis Goff has wanted to do as athletic director. When he got hired, the first thing he did was basically hired Lance Leipold. We can say now that is a hit as an athletic director hiring a football coach. He wanted to fundraise and make the football program more viable in the modern market. They might not be the highest spending NIL team, but they are not the bottom of the barrel when it comes to NIL spending. That's Travis Goff. He wanted to build a new stadium and get, people on board and people excited about the football program. Check. And now he got basically a big check from David Booth to do more and more of this. This was his vision when he took the job 5-6 years ago. Tomorrow is Travis Goff getting to have his moment in the sun as the athletic director, because that stadium, that coach, that energy, that buzz is all a culmination of what he has done behind the scenes.
To me, programs like Kansas are the ones that should try to take advantage of week 0. Next week, you just get lost in the shuffle. There's too many big games next week in college football. I mean, LSU plays Clemson next weekend. Texas plays Ohio State next weekend. We get the debut of Bill Belichick. They're going up against a good school in TCU. You just get lost in the mix. But on a Saturday, when there's not a lot else going on right now, there's no other football other than preseason football. There's no other college football for you to have a standalone game that's going to get 1 million, 1.5 million viewers to show off your new stadium, show off your new football program. This was a really good idea by Kansas to showcase themselves in week 0. What are the expectations for the Jayhawks? Because last year, you guys were thinking big, and you should have been thinking big. You had the quarterback, you had the running back, you had the head coach, you had a lot of things in place. Now, they just got off to a slow start last year. It was always going to be tough, and maybe KU fans didn't really think about this when we were kind of looking at them in the preseason. It's kind of hard to get to where you want to get to if you have no true home game. That stuff matters in college football. Maybe it doesn't matter in the NFL, it matters in college football if you don't have that true home environment. I thought KU kind of got behind the 8 ball. Their quarterback maybe wasn't 100% healthy. He made some poor plays early in the season, but they kind of turned things around in the second half. It's not nearly as action-packed. It's not nearly as, I think, anticipation built as it was last year. But obviously, you're back home. The quarterback is back. You're in this new stadium. It feels like just make a bowl game, 6 or 7 wins. I think KU fans would be happy with this season. Is that accurate?
It's a pretty accurate breakdown. I actually was on Drew's podcast, 249 Miles of Football. Download it wherever you get your podcast. And he asked me a similar question. Hey, what are expectations this year? And I said the basement is 6-6 and make a bowl game. If you want to continue to build this momentum and this hype and David Booth and the money and the stadium and all this stuff, you can't have another 5-7. You can't. I mean, if Lance Leipold is the guy everyone thinks he is, he can't be a guy that doesn't make bowl games consistently. We talked about it on this show a couple days ago. Can KU turn into Iowa State football? Iowa State doesn't have 5-7 seasons, so the basement to me is 6-6. I feel like reasonable expectations for Kansas with their schedule, the new stadium, new faces, big transfer class. Somewhere between 7-5, 8-4. That's probably like a realistic expectation. But within that 7-5, 8-4, you got to beat one of the rivals. If you go 8-4, but you're 0-2 against Missouri and K-State, I mean, yeah, we'll be happy that you're 8-4, but you got to get either the 16-win monkey off your back with K-State or go out and shock the world against a Missouri team that doesn't have a quarterback right now, and in week 2, go out and win that game. But 7-5, 8-4, but you got to go 1-1 against the rivals in some capacity. It cannot continue to be you're the doormat locally, but look, they're 8-4. You got to do something there.
Coming up in just a bit, we are actually going to head to Lawrence, Kansas to get you ready for their week 0 game against Fresno State. Congratulations to the Jayhawks. They're opening up a new stadium. Let's talk a little bit of NFL before we do that. Now, maybe I have missed something. And if I've missed something, I'm here to tell you that I apologize. I can't catch everything. I know it's my job to be up to date and hip on what's happening in sports. And trust me, I do everything I can. But I'm human. I miss things from time to time. I feel like Caleb Williams is very polarizing, and I don't really have a good answer on why he's really polarizing. I kind of get it with Shedeur. I do. I get it. 2 years ago, after a game against Arizona State, not the year that they went to the college football playoff, I mean the year before that, Shedeur Sanders on a team that didn't make a bowl game goes over to the student section and holds up a $100,000 watch. Shedeur Sanders is rapping and doing all this other stuff. Like, I kind of get it why you don't like Shedeur. I mean, I don't mind Shedeur. He never done anything to me, but I at least understand why you don't like Shedeur. You know, I get why people don't like Phillip Rivers. Sometimes he's a little bit of a brat. I understand it. Is it people don't like Caleb Williams because he wears fingernail polish? Like, have I missed something? Like, is there a quote from Caleb Williams? Is there something that he's done? Because I see the discourse. I see the conversation around Caleb Williams, and I'm not really sure if he's done anything to kind of warrant that. Is it because he wears fingernail polish and there is sort of a expectation that we have of football players and he doesn't really fit that expectation, so people don't like him? I remember when he cried the one time at USC. Remember they lost, he went over to his parents and he cried, and then people kind of got on him for that. I don't really get it. I mean, Caleb Williams is one of the best quarterback prospects that we've seen. This is where I've always, maybe partly this is why I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I feel like Trevor Lawrence gets like an aura of protection around him, and we don't really give that to anybody else. Caleb Williams was a better college football player than Trevor Lawrence was. He was a better prospect than Trevor Lawrence was. He had a much better rookie season than Trevor Lawrence. I don't feel like he gets discussed like that. I don't feel like he gets the benefit of the doubt from the media in the same way. How he's covered, how he's discussed, how people bring him up, it's just always been very off to me. Am I missing something with Caleb Williams on why people feel the way that they feel about him?
I feel like you said it perfectly. What people envision as a football player, Caleb Williams is not. When people envision a leader and someone that is going to be the guy that at the helm of a franchise to take a football team into battle, for lack of a better term, they have a vision in their head of what that looks like. Caleb Williams does not fit that vision. So I think it's all the stuff leads them to think that's not what it's supposed to look like. I know what it looks like, and Caleb Williams doesn't check any of those boxes. Despite the fact, if you talk to teammates or coaches, he is checking those boxes. It just, he's doing it in a different way, and it looks different. And I think when people see different, they immediately hate it, and that is what's happening to Caleb Williams. It's because, was it the Met Gala, or he went to some event where he was in modern apparel. I don't want to say a skirt, but it was like a kilt type thing. People didn't like that. The fingernail polish, the crying with his mom. People just look for reasons to say that's not what a quarterback is supposed to look like, and they ding him for it.
Maybe I just have a little bit of a different view because of this. My sister is the same age as Caleb Williams. I can't explain it. I don't know how. I don't know why. Their age group is just different. Like, I've hung out with my sister enough, and I've hung out with my sister and her friends enough to see how they interact with each other, how they talk to each other, how they spend time with one another. It's just different. So, like, in some ways, I kind of feel like I understand Caleb Williams, even though I don't really understand Caleb Williams. And someone just sent in, he's an odd dude. He's not your typical alpha quarterback leader. I just also think that the typical alpha quarterback leader is just changing because this generation of 21 to 23-year-olds, they're just unique. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. So you're right. Like, if you envision a quarterback and how he carries himself and what you project him to be, I don't think that's what Caleb Williams is. But he feels polarizing, and people want to see him fail in a way that just seems very off to me, given the fact that he hasn't done anything. Like, it's not like we're talking about somebody who has gotten in trouble off the field or has said something super controversial. It's not like he's very political, so I could understand you don't like him because you don't agree with how he feels on this social issue. Like, we don't like Caleb Williams because he's different? I don't know. It just seems off to me. Let's go to the phone lines and catch up with Michael Swain. He covers the Jayhawks. Michael, we were in Ireland earlier, and now we're in Lawrence, Kansas. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Two very different parts of the world.
No, two completely different parts. So let's start with this. I will not see the new stadium until tomorrow. Rob also hasn't seen the new stadium. I believe you have seen it. They did a media tour a couple of days ago. I mean, not really cool of them to schedule it while we were on the air during the middle of the show. Should have been much more convenient to Rob and I's time. But how was the stadium? How was the tour?
Yeah, how dare they schedule it in the afternoon? it was really cool. And I've been fortunate enough to go through kind of at various points. And when we were in there in March, like you could kind of see some of the stuff, but it was still kind of gutted and coming together. I mean, this was very much you could tell, right? Game day is super close. There's power washing going on outside. Like everything looked ready to go. And I'm really impressed. I don't know what my expectations were. I tried to go in kind of without a preconceived notion of what it would look like. And it really looks top notch. And I think it's one of those things where fans that have been going to KU games for a long time, have been through, bad football and started to see good football, they're going to have the chance to really enjoy a game day around the stadium and outside of just what's going on the field, between, accessibility, concession stands, like sightline stuff. Like I can talk for days about the sightlines, because that is so much different than the old booth, where you look at the east side right now, and it is so gradual the way it goes up to the top row. Well, when you're on the other side, right, the west side or the north side, like you can go up to the top and it feels like you're still right on top of the action. And I think that part is really cool, that fans that are sitting in, what would be quote unquote the nosebleeds, right? Those are still darn good seats. Like you got really good, a viewing ability there. And then also with all the concessions around, like I just think top to bottom, they did a very good job. And I know there's a lot of focus on premium, because that makes KU a lot of money. And that's something they love showcasing. But I also understand that covers maybe 5% of the fan base that are able to have access to that. And I think that the other parts of the stadium that more of the casual fan is going to be able to have access to, that stuff's really cool. And it's really neat that I think KU fans finally get to have a stadium that I think their loyalty deserves from, what has been an awful, decade plus of football.
What does this say about Travis Goff and the athletic department that he's built? We were just discussing this before you popped on. KU's had some big football moments in the last handful of years. They were on College Game Day. They had that big win at Texas. They beat Colorado last year. They're opening up a new stadium, a completely renovated stadium. They just got a massive, massive donation from David Booth. What does it say about Travis Goff and his vision as the athletic director as they head into this next phase?
Yeah, well, KU definitely has the right person leading the way. You can look, there's so many different ways you could go to. Obviously hiring Lance Leipold, first of all, right? He hired the right person for Kansas football, and that has really unlocked all of this. If he had hired the wrong person and KU had kind of stayed in the bottom of the Big 12, this isn't happening because there is not the donor support to do it. There would not have been just generally the push to do it from the actual football office, right? Lance Leipold was a driving force in this. It was in his contract that if KU did not start the stadium project, that he was going to be able to look elsewhere. And so I think those two things combined really helped the stadium thing get going. And then I think it says a lot that a billionaire like David Booth trusts Travis Goff in his athletic department with $300 million, right? People like David Booth don't get in that position by being stupid with their money. And the fact that he is willing to give that sum to KU speaks volumes about what he thinks about the athletic department and Travis Goff. So, look, that donation period is going to help KU with revenue sharing. It's going to help them consistently have revenue streams. Having this new stadium and all the premium seating is going to help generate a lot of revenue for KU in addition to just the gate receipts from other tickets. Like, KU as an athletic department is in a much, much healthier spot entering a phase of college athletics where, the athletic department has to give up $20 million a year to give to players. That's a lot of money. And it's not something anyone was factoring in 3 years ago. And the fact that KU is able to be in this position now is super important for just the long-term health of the athletic department and the ability to compete on multiple fronts, right? KU is going to have a competitive football team and a competitive basketball team at the same time. And then you can get into other sports, right? Women's volleyball, women's basketball has put a lot of money into that team. Like, KU is trying to be competitive on several fronts, and that takes a very well-organized athletic department. It takes some smart hires, and I think top to bottom, right, KU is in a very, very strong spot because of Travis Goff, and they're able to have this really big, I think, month, right, when you factor in the donation from David Booth, you factor in opening up this kind of 2/3 of a new stadium. Like, they're able to have all this because of Goff and his leadership.
Right now, we're talking to Michael Swain, who covers the Jayhawks for 24/7 Sports. They get things going in week 0. They play host to Fresno State. Michael, I think this is just a solid game. This isn't one of the marquee games in the early part of the college football season, but this is a game like a program like KU. This is a good game to take. You're playing a Power 5 school that we all have heard of before. You're playing them at home. This is a game that's easy to kind of sell to your fan base. You're not playing Cupcake State. This is a legitimate way to kick off the college football season.
It is. I probably would disagree that it's a good game for KU. I think Jeff Long gave this athletics department a little bit of a turd with this one, because playing Fresno State is no joke, even with a new coaching staff and with the transfer portal additions. Like, KU's fortunate that this is not a Fresno State that returns, 18 starters and their head coach and comes into KU looking to put up a big-time performance. Like, you look at the other Power 4 games they've played, they kept it close with USC, Oregon, and Michigan. Right, that's the program we're talking about. That's not necessarily the team you want to be opening your season against if you're KU, but of course the circumstances are a little bit different now with, they're also breaking in a new roster. But for KU, I think that's what makes, tomorrow night so interesting, is the fact that it's not Lindenwood, right? It's not Wagner coming in for this first game inside the new stadium. It's a legit game, and it's a legit team, and a really good coach in Matt Entz, right? You don't win multiple FCS titles by being a bad coach. And so they're going to be really well organized. They're going to have a game plan coming in, and I think it's going to be a really good test for KU to really see where they're at. I know there are probably some fans on KU's end that feel like, hey, it should be a 20-plus point win. I don't know. I think this could be a situation where going in the fourth quarter, maybe it's a 2-score game. I just think that you're going to see Fresno State try and take the air out of the ball. They're going to try their best to be physical. We'll see how that plays out. But I think for KU, it's an interesting game. The fact that this is in week 0 gives KU a lot more eyeballs, right? If this was next weekend, this would be on ESPN Plus, or, it'd be on FS1 at, 6:30 or 11 a.m. Like, it wouldn't be a marquee game. And so KU gets to play a good program with a good head coach on a national stage. And so that's one of the things I'm most interested in seeing, is kind of how KU is able to handle this moment. Because, look, the players know what's at stake, right? They know that there's a lot of time, effort, and money put into this new stadium, and that the way things went last year, right, it was not a smooth start to the season. And there was a lot of, I think, fan interest that dwindled as a result. And so this is the chance on Saturday for KU to go out and make a statement to start the season and get the season started on the right foot. And so that's what I think just makes this game such a interesting one, even if, from the outside looking in, you're not saying, oh, man, this is going to be a barn burner or, a must-watch game for a casual, college football fan.
Last thing here, I feel like these two questions are kind of rolled up into one. I mean, last year's Kansas football season was really simple. They were as good as Jalen Daniels were. They got off to a really slow start. Their quarterback was bad for the first month of the season. He turned things around. KU shocked BYU. They shocked Colorado. What are your expectations for Jalen Daniels? I mean, there is no more next year. There's no injury concerns. There's none of that. Like, you're expecting him to bounce back to what he was a couple of seasons ago, and I feel like your answer for that will determine how good we think KU can be this year.
Totally. Yeah, I think KU goes as far as Jalen Daniels takes it. And if you want to go off what kind of the buzz coming out of camp is, it's Jalen's put together his best preseason at KU. Obviously, he has dealt with injuries heading into seasons, right? 2021 was one. Obviously, 2023 with the back injury. Last year he was limited early as they really monitored the back injury. Well, he had pretty much a full camp, good to go. And what people are talking about is the fact that he's been as locked in as he's been since he's been at KU. He's played really well during camp. And so now it's time for him to go and show it, because, KU's got a lot of newcomers, right, on offense. You look at the wide receiver room. You look at some of the tight ends they have. You need Jalen Daniels to be good from the get-go. You can't have the Illinois performance, the UNLV performance in some of these early games, right? If he plays like that against Missouri, KU, it's going to be hard for KU to be in that game. And I think KU needs Jalen to hit the ground running. And the good part is, at least from some of the stuff we're hearing, it's the fact that Jalen had a good camp and sounds like he's ready to go to start the season on the right foot.
That is Michael Swain joining us on the show. He is with 24/7 Sports. He covers the Jayhawks. Michael, man, I know when you're on the show, it either means two things. KU has got the #1 basketball recruit, or it's football season, so it's always good.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. That's Michael Swain joining us on the show today. He covers Kansas athletics for 24/7 Sports. Coming up on the other side, the Cowboys, they continue to entertain us with drama regarding Micah Parsons. We'll get into it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. All you need to do is pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. Just log into your BetMGM Sports account to get started. Then, visit your promotions section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a multi-car crash affecting both directions, east and westbound, of 435 before Metcalf. Eastbound, the 2 right lanes are blocked. Westbound, you've got 1 left lane blocked, but just pay attention to what they're telling you to do through here from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Welcome back into the show. I have recently started the Cowboys documentary on Netflix. I'm not super far into it. They just have really interesting characters that really pop when the camera is on. I mean, the first cut to Michael Irvin is him telling a story of how he was born to play wide receiver. And he says that the doctor tried to touch him or pop him, and he says, I caught his hands. How do you think of something like that? We know the kind of charismatic personality that Deion Sanders is, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones. It's a very, very interesting documentary and closer look at just one of the more interesting teams that we have had in American sports. Well, you guys know this. If you're promoting something like that, you got to go on a media tour. You got to let people know that you're doing something. So you go on the Good Morning Americas. You sit down with ESPN. You got to go on a press tour. That's what Jerry Jones is doing right now. He's doing that off the strength of a documentary on Netflix and a negotiation with their best player. Don't fall for this. Jerry Jones was on Fox News talking about this. Listen to this.
How close are you to getting a deal with him?
Mike is a great player, not a good player, but a great player. He knows more than anyone that it's a team thing. And so I know everybody's tired of hearing this, but you've got to put this puzzle together so that you can have some other people out there playing with Michael. That's the art of the deal, and that's why we're trying to get done. And we're trying to make this thing work. But we have all the appreciation in the world for what he can mean to the years ahead. We're proud to have him.
So Jerry Jones, to promote this documentary, to promote himself, he is sitting down with Fox News to talk about Micah Parsons' contract negotiations. All right? He then sat down and did an exclusive one-on-one with Stephen A. Smith. He's been going around. He'll talk to anybody right now. That's what you got to do. We got tickets to sell, baby. We got a documentary that's about me. The documentary starts with him telling the story of basically of how he made enough money to buy the Dallas Cowboys. It's an incredible story if you haven't heard it. Don't fall for this. We've seen this movie before. They did this with Des Bryant. They did this with Dak Prescott. They did this with DeMarcus Lawrence. They did it with CeeDee Lamb. I refuse to fall for it. Here's more Jerry Jones.
In the spirit of not doing the old mother-dad deal. How many times have you seen the little rascal so clever go in there and mama told him, you're not going to get it. And goes in to daddy, who only sees him after 5 in the afternoon, wants to love him, and says, you can have it, son. You can have that before dinner. And he goes back in and says, Mama, Daddy said I could have it. That's the old mom, dad, been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. That's what's happening.
You're not going for it?
I'm not going for it. No. But we've had a a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work? Micah. And who else? You. Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third. This will be a good one.
Jerry, he's a comedian. Jerry Seinfeld, Jerry Jones, two great comedians. I'm not falling for this. I'm sitting there listening to it. And Stephen A's like, yeah. Stephen A., you don't have an agent? You want to know I know you have an agent? That's who you were sitting with when LeBron pressed you. You were sitting next to your agent. Like, you have a third representation. I don't think you were negotiating directly with ESPN when they gave you that $100 million. I think you let your representation handle it. It's WWE. That's what it is. It's scripted. It's fun. I'm not here to get too upset about this. I've seen this before. I got one more Cowboys thing, and then I promise you we'll move on. From Jeremy Fowler, friend of the show, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. The Cowboys would need a Herschel Walker-sized offer to consider trading Micah Parsons. Okay, well, then they're not trading him. Football starts in 2 weeks. What team is off? What team is giving you their whole draft in the next 2 weeks for them to go get Micah Parsons? What team do you think that is, Jerry? Jerry, you're not fooling me. You're not. You're not fooling me. Hopefully he's not fooling you. This is all promotion for a Netflix documentary. That's what it is. They want you to go watch it. They want you to stream it. So Jerry's got to be in the news. He's got to get you talking. I refuse to get up in arms about this. I refuse to worry about this. I'm not going to sweat my pretty little head because I know exactly what's going on. We're going to get to the Royals coming up in just a bit. Rob, before we do that, let me ask you a really important question. Do we have any expectations for today's Chiefs game? Like, I know you guys are expecting me to have some big preseason take. It's preseason game number 3 for a team that we think is one of the 5 best teams in the National Football League. You know, I mean, I tell you guys all the time, nothing good. There's nothing good that can happen today. Only bad on the field. Something good can happen somewhere else. Hey, maybe you're taking your kids to their first Chiefs game. I hope it's a phenomenal game. I really do. I hope it's great. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. There's nothing positive that can happen for the Chiefs tonight. It can only be bad things. Rob, is there any takeaway? Because the only thing I think you're watching for now is you're watching to see who's in the game in the fourth quarter. Because if you're in the game in the fourth quarter today, you're on the roster bubble. You can get cut. You can get cut. Now, let's see who it is. And obviously, an injury, something can change the circumstances of it. But if you're on the field at the end of preseason, I'm here to tell you that they might need your clipboard here coming up in a couple of weeks. They might need your iPad back because you might not be making that 53-man roster. Is there any takeaway you have for tonight?
I mean, I feel like it's a lame answer, and it's the low-hanging fruit. Kingsley and Josh Simmons in the first however long the starters are in. I feel like the thing we watch in every game is those two, but I also think it's preseason game number 3, so grain of salt. But the offensive line, man, I mean, how do Kingsley and Simmons gel? But I don't think they're in the game for more than maybe 2 drives. So, unless it's disastrous, I don't know we're going to have an answer to that question. But, yeah, Kingsley and Simmons is what I'm watching. But even then, it's barely watching because I don't know how full speed people are going.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. The Royals are hot, hot, hot. Can they keep it up against the Tigers? They're going to need to if they're going to make the postseason. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The crash affecting both directions down south, 435 westbound before Metcalf. It is the right lane blocked. Eastbound, you've got 2 left lanes blocked there. And a stall, North KC, and that's 35 northbound past Armour in the left lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm bound 96.5 The Fan.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for every single football fan. It's 24 hours of deals, and you know I love a deal, on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think is going to win MVP. Take a flyer on who you think is going to win the championship this year, and you can parlay your division dark horse candidates. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. You guys always tell me what you think. This time, put your money where your mouth is. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. So if you like Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, this is the time to take him. Or if you think the Chiefs are heading back to the big game, August 28th is a day for you. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. It's kansasgamblinghelp.com.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Rob Sight Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
So we do a giveaway at GiveMeTheVin.com. Every month we're giving away $25,000 to one lucky person that sells us their car. Karen, you there?
I'm here.
Karen Gardner of Oceanside, California is the latest winner in GiveMeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
What did you sell us?
I sold you a 95 Impala.
And what did we pay you for it?
You guys gave me 18.
18 plus 25,000 because you're the winner, Karen.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Hey, it's Gold. I wanted to once again tell you about the 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat I've been driving thanks to Shawnee Mission Ford. It made the drive up to training camp so easy. Not only is it fully loaded, ventilated seats after a hot show up at camp. Trust me, the cooled seats are amazing. But also Blue Cruise, where it's hands-free driving on the highway. So go into Shawnee Mission Ford and test drive a vehicle and take advantage of the Labor Day sales event. 0% for 48 months, no payments for 90 days with approved credit on most new Ford vehicles. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. See dealer website for details.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. You know, we're looking ahead to the start of the football season. It is that time of year. These players all have to be at their very best and ready to perform at the highest level when it matters most. Blue Chew provides access to chewable tablets that can help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Be more confident where it counts. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days. Date nights just got longer and better for everyone because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Guys, this isn't just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a special offer there for you. Get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use the promo code KFNZ at checkout and cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
If you've started thinking about what to wear this fall, your timing is perfect because Macy's Fall Preview event has early deals on looks everyone will be wearing. Romantic dresses from BCBG and Avec Les Filles. Western-inspired boots and bags from Steve Madden, all 25% off. Plus, take 15 to 25% off fall beauty from Yves Saint Laurent, Estee Lauder, and Clinique. Don't wait. This fall preview won't be around for long. So come into Macy's today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
I'm just going to say this. If Josh Vernier is on the show on August 22nd, something is going great for the Royals. Usually by now, college football season starts tomorrow, final week of the NFL preseason. We'd have been long gone from talking about the Royals, but no, we can't. The Royals are one of the hottest teams in baseball. Vern, how you doing today, my man?
Actually, the telltale sign is, you know what you want to talk about, right? In those 2019, 2021, 22, 23, when you were nice enough to have me on in the month of August, it was normally to find out, is there anything worth talking about with this Royals team? Vern, give me one good thing to mention about this Royals baseball club, but I'm well aware you're well aware of all the good things to talk about with this team.
No, you're right. I also just kind of reached the point now where I feel like I can tell Rob and Speck no. You should have Vern on today. No, I don't want to have him on today. I don't know if there's anything to talk about. But no, I do want you on the show. There is a lot to talk about today. This is how we led the show. I think the Royals have to overcome their fear if they're going to make the postseason this year. This season, they have been 22-37 against teams that are 500 or better. They play 19 of those games between now and the end of the season. Nobody is saying you got to go 15-4 in that stretch, but you can't go 6-13 in that stretch. You got to go 9-10. You got to hover around 500. If the Royals can just find a way to play competitive against teams that are in their weight class, they really got a chance to do this thing.
Yeah, and as long as they continue to beat up on the bad teams, yeah, no doubt about it. Although a lot of the numbers that include the first half of the season, to me, don't really pertain to this team. The offense is so very different. This is, a far cry than the bunch that they were running out there in April and May and June. So, yeah, that team struggled. The pitching staff is also completely different than it was in April, May, and June. So a lot of these season-long statistics just don't carry the type of water that they would, had MJ Melendez and Hunter Renfroe and Cole Reagans and Chris Bubich. And, we've seen a lot of turnover as, again, this offense, since Adam Frazier showed up, since the All-Star break hit, has been completely different in all different facets, from swing and miss to drawing walks to hitting home runs to working an opposing pitcher's pitch count. It's a completely different 1 through 9, even though half of the names are the same.
I give J.J. Piccolo a lot of credit for this. A lot of people were saying that the Royals should have been sellers. I was saying this. I believe you were saying this too. I thought it was in the Royals' best interest to just pack it in for 2025 and get ready for 2026 when you can regroup and get healthy. They certainly had a lot of kind of exit plans to do that. This team was 40-47 around the 4th of July, and they were completely banged up. I think JJ and his staff deserve a lot of credit for staying strong in their convictions, staying the course, and making moves that didn't hurt this team long term, help them in the short term, and also looking ahead to make a move to get a guy like Ryan Bergert, who definitely factors into their long-term plans.
Yeah, he had a tremendous trade deadline, no doubt about it. Another well-executed, well-maneuvered deadline by JJ in this front office. But to me, it's more of a reflection on John Sherman and Seth Lugo, because you say we wanted to be sellers, and, my response throughout July was, well, what is selling? Seth Lugo isn't selling. Seth Lugo is doing the proper business move at the deadline. If you're out of it, you move him. But once you find out he's willing to leave some money on the table and your owner is willing to make a legitimate offer, if you have the opportunity to keep him, well, yeah, all right. Now there is nothing to sell, because Seth Lugo, to me, was the only obvious move at the deadline. I mean, true selling was talks of parting with a Vinny Pasquantino or a Chris Bubich or a Maikel Garcia. And I don't think you were ever on board with that. I know I was never on board with that. So once Seth Lugo said, I'll be on board with 2026 and 2027 in this organization, and John Sherman made that happen, to me, it allowed J.J. Picollo to stick with his plan. Because if Lugo doesn't give, if Sherman doesn't give, Picollo's admitted, I would have moved Seth Lugo because we had to move Seth Lugo. So to me, yes, he deserves a lot of credit, and he's deserved a lot of credit because he's nailed now 3 straight trade deadlines. But to me, the pivot in the season of, wow, we can be aggressive at the deadline, that happened when Seth Lugo and John Sherman came to an agreement.
Right now, we're talking a little Royals baseball with our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. You and I talked about this early in the week. Seth Lugo was off to a little bit of a rough patch. He turned things around in his last start. What was different about Lugo than has been the last handful of starts?
Yeah, he said it was all about execution, focus, working pitch to pitch. Right, he never took the excuse of I'm tired. He never took the excuse of that finger injury that he's told us is going to be bothering him for the rest of the season. He said it was all on me. So a all-star right-hander, a guy that you do ink to a near $50 million extension, did exactly what you would expect from a veteran like that, or someone like a Michael Wacha, a Salvador Perez, just when you start to worry that, wow, this is more than just a couple of bad outings, this is starting to be a trend. The reason why they last so long in the big leagues is because they're able to adjust. And Wacha's been doing it for years, Salvi, of course, and the latest example being Seth Lugo.
Taking a look at Vinny Pasquantino, we'll jump around here talking about the Royals. We're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. I heard you talk about this on the end of your post-game show. Vinny, in his last 162 regular season games, he's hitting 260, 34 home runs, and 119 RBIs. He has been very, very good. I've seen a lot of tweets. I've heard a lot of commentary about the Royals should just lock Vinny up long term. Based on what I heard you say, it sounds like you and I are on the same page. There's really no reason to do that right now. If you want to treat him like Cole Reagans or Hunter Dozier back in the day, you want to buy out his arbitration, give him some guaranteed money, give him that peace of mind and comfort. I mean, go all ahead. There's no harm in doing that, but I don't really know why the Royals would give him a 6 or 7 year deal right now. I just don't think that makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, he's 28, so you have him for his prime, especially for a first baseman, someone that is somewhat landlocked. Yeah, you love him, and that's why you'll pay him because of his importance inside that clubhouse. But no, to extend him beyond that, if you want to put in a few incentives that could pay him 1 year, 2 years into free agency, yeah, I would be fine with that. Maikel Garcia, though, is a different story. Now, again, not to get off of Vinny too quick. Vinny right now on pace for 32 home runs and 110 RBI. That's a combination Mike Sweeney, George Brett, Hal McRae never did. Amos Otis, Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer never had that many home runs, that many runs driven in the same season. So, proper amount of reverence for Vinny, who's been on an absolute tear once the calendar flipped to May in OPS that is all-star worthy in OPS of 860. To me, Vinny is the best first baseman in the division and can make a case that I'm the best left-handed hitter in this American League Central. But he is a first baseman DH only. Maikel Garcia can play shortstop every single day at the highest level while hitting 300, running the bases well with a strong arm, with power, can hit for average. Maikel Garcia this year has been one of the 15 best players on the planet. So not only would I buy up his arbitration, I'd throw him at least 1 or 2 years of his free agency, which means you're going to have to pay him properly, but also he's going to leave some money on the table for that type of long-term security. When you have someone that can play up the middle, that is that well-rounded of a baseball player, even if he ends up staying at second or rather staying at third or bouncing over to second base, to have that type of well-rounded 5-tool player to go along with Bobby Witt Jr. and Jack Caglione for the next half decade, that's a pretty solid 1, 2, 3 in your lineup for the next 5 years.
I'm looking at this as really a 10-day stretch when it comes to the Royals. And more specifically, I'm looking at the 6 games you have against the Tigers. I mean, if you can win both of those series, great. You absolutely will take that. I don't know how realistic that is for you if you're the Royals. I think you just got to go 3-3 against the Tigers. I don't care how you do it. I don't care where you do it. But you can't lose any ground. It's great if you gain ground, but you just can't lose any ground while you're trying to catch up with Seattle and Boston, et cetera.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know a win total that I'm looking for. I just want to see them continue to play well-rounded baseball, because if they do that, I think they can outlast the rest and find themselves with one of those final 3 wild card spots. Yeah, it's a big series in Detroit. The next one's going to be big, and then there's 13 straight days without an off day. And you're taking on Cleveland and Philadelphia, Seattle, Toronto, so just keep playing quality baseball. You'll be there in the end.
When did the Royals start taking walks? Because you've been here long enough. I've certainly been here long enough. I can't ever remember a Royals team that was getting on base by walks. I saw a stat from Rainey. This is the most walks they've had over an 11-game stretch in like 20 years or so. What's gotten into the Royals offense?
Good hitters. Yeah, Mike Yastrzemski, Adam Frazier, Vinny Pasquantino's been a good hitter. People are wising up with Bobby Witt Jr., not allowing him to beat you. But you look again, before the All-Star break, the Royals had the lowest walk percentage in all of Major League Baseball. Since the All-Star break, they have the 6th highest walk rate in all of Major League Baseball. Before the break, before Adam Frazier showed up, they averaged the 2nd fewest home runs per at-bat in all of baseball. Since the All-Star break, 3rd most home runs per at-bat. But again, chase percentage, swing percentage, I could go on and on. It's been a completely different offense. Once Frazier, once Yastrzemski showed up, it's elongated the offense and not put the lion's share of the pressure on 3 bats, especially one being Salvi, who now, again, as we've discussed, is being asked to be the everyday catcher for the home stretch, just like he was a decade ago. Although, unlike a decade ago, he's not hitting in the 7 spot. He's hitting in the 5 spot and is asked a lot of. Can Salvi deliver? We'll see. If not, it's nice to know that a guy like Yastrzemski and Grichuk and others, Michael Garcia, can pitch in to pick up the captain.
Vern, I'll get you out of here with this last question. It's baseball related, but it's also not baseball related. Have you ever traveled to watch your team, and when they lost or if they lost, is that like a bottom 5 feeling as a fan? Because I've done that before. You get in the car, you get in a plane to go watch your team. It's a road game. Like, you could have been having a great trip, and then your team gets beat 24-3, and you're thinking, man, why did I come here? Has this ever happened to you?
No. The only team I've ever traveled to see was Michigan football, and they always beat up on Sparty for those trips. They beat the Buckeyes for that trip, so no, never really experienced it. But as a Mizzou fan, I would imagine, yeah, you felt
Yeah, well,
that
come on now. Why'd you have to throw? Come on now. That felt
I just
like
know
shade.
where we're going here. I know
Okay,
it's
I'm
college
just
football
asking.
season. I heard that bumper's back where you're all fired up about the Tigers. I love it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's happened in football and basketball. I went to Hilton Coliseum to play the Cyclones. They were down 20 by the second media timeout. It was time to go.
That's why I laugh every time I hear it, because you have no idea what year that's from, what team he's talking about. It's just that is Mizzou sports.
That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show. Vern, I'm hopeful that when we talk next time, that means the Royals took care of business against the Tigers, man. I appreciate you, Vern.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show. We're going to talk about that coming up on the other side, because there are some K-State fans and Iowa State fans that they have spent a lot of money and time planning to go to Ireland. Somebody is coming home unhappy. Both teams can't be happy. Can it still be a good trip if you've gone out of town and you've spent thousands of dollars to watch your team and your team loses? Like, I don't care how good the Guinness can be. If you fly over there and your team loses because of a last-second heartbreaking kick, I don't know if you can say that you had a good trip in Ireland. We're going to talk about that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, football season is right around the corner. So that means whether you're watching your favorite college team or maybe you're watching the pros play, you're going to have people over and you're going to have your own watch parties. Well, if you plan on having a watch party this fall, make sure that it includes the best barbecue in town at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic Gates barbecue taste. And let me tell you, the last time I was there, I got the burnt E-Mac, absolutely phenomenal. Now, you know, I'm a mixed plate kind of guy, but now I got to make sure I get that on the side. I got to make sure that I get that burnt E-Mac. I put a little bit of the sauce in there. I mix it all up. Oh, my goodness, it's absolutely delicious. Maybe you like to get your own grilling done during the football season. Well, you can still incorporate Gates Barbecue into that. Next time you're at the grocery store, make sure you go get some of the Gates sauce. Also, make sure that you go get some of the Gates seasoning. You can get that at any area local grocery store. It's Carrington here telling you, when football season around, with tailgate season right around the corner, I know you're going to be doing some grilling. And if you plan on doing some grilling or even eating some barbecue at the function, make sure that it includes Gates Barbecue.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same day or next day delivery, or order online and pick it up in store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Missouri, get ready! DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. Later this football season, you'll be able to bet same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more right here in Missouri. Whether you're backing Kansas City to dominate on Sundays or sweating your basketball picks, DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you want to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we go live in Missouri, you'll be betting from home with the top-rated sportsbook trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and ready to deliver the action like never before. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 965 now to gear up for launch in Missouri. Be the first in line for exclusive promos and can't-miss offers. That's code 965 in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This Labor Day weekend, we're celebrating Bob's Discount Furniture's 200th store milestone with the entire Bob's family across the country. For more than 30 years, we've believed everyone deserves the home they love. That's why we brought our everyday low prices on furniture, mattresses, and more to over 200 locations from coast to coast and counting. Not to mention free treats for the whole family in our cafes. Celebrate Bob's Discount Furniture's 200 store milestone this Labor Day weekend. Oh, my Bob!
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Bob's had the same car, Betty, since high school, and that was a while ago. Bob's dealt with wipers, slow starts, and a few warning lights. And every time, Bob went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped with free services and the right parts to keep Bob and Betty on the road. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Then a new crash to report 635 southbound at Miriam. It is the right lane blocked in both directions down south of 435 east and westbound, affected by a wreck at Metcalf. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Oh, we're going to talk about week 0, but before we do that, it is time to play How Much to Go to the Chiefs game tonight. Rob, that's what we're going to do. I am on StubHub.com right now. I have pulled up the cheapest ticket inside of Arrowhead Stadium. Let me tell you where this is. It is in section 341, row 24, seats 23 and 24. These are the absolute cheapest tickets available on StubHub. Now, you've been to Arrowhead. I don't want to make it seem like these are bad seats, but they ain't good. How much do you think it is to go to the Chiefs game later today between the Chiefs and the Bears in the most recent edition of How Much to Go to the Game Tonight?
I'm going to keep my guess cheap. I'm going to say it's $16 to go tonight.
How much?
$16.
Turn the music off. Right now on StubHub, the cheapest price per ticket to go to preseason game number 3 between the Chiefs and the Bears is $47.
People are sick.
I have so many questions. Number 1, how much are they charging y'all for this?
What's a regular season game cost?
That's what I'm asking. How much are they charging y'all for this? Because this is what I'm guessing. This is what I'm guessing. You're charging $47 because you're trying to get back the money that they hit you up for. Clark Hunt, he hit you up for $50, $60 for that seat. So now you can't just give it away. You got to try to get something back. How much are they charging y'all to go to this preseason game tonight? This is practice. That's what this is. This is a practice they're having today. I mean, I know there's going to be lights and cameras. This is football practice. You could have been watching them practice in St. Joe for free. You could have filled up the tank, watched football practice. Maybe you got an autograph from a player, stopped and got you a bite to eat in St. Joe. You could have done all that for less than $47 a ticket. Hey, how much are they charging y'all to go to this? That's number 1. That's question number 1. Question number 2. Now, this might be the person I am judging. Who's the person that's spending $47 a ticket to sit in 341, row 24, seats 23 and 24 for a preseason game? I get sitting up there for the Eagles. I get sitting up there for the Lions, for the Commanders. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I understand. You're sitting up there. You're sitting up there during the preseason game. Hey, man, must be nice. I'm telling you.
By the way, this doesn't factor in the fact that it's what?
You got to pay to park.
What is parking nowadays?
You ain't even paid to park. This is just $47 a ticket. This includes fees. So you're taking your little one. So you in this for about $100. They hit you for $60. You paying this? Hey, I mean,
I'm gonna say, is parking still $60 or did it go up this year? Like, I know it has been $60, but has it moved?
I mean, I'm just saying, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it.
To see what? A quarter's being generous of Caleb Williams and Patrick Mahomes?
Someone on the text line says, damn, you guys are dogging my seats. I sit up there. I'm not judging you. I get it. Get it how you live. I'm not hating on your seats. I mean, you know you ain't got the best seats in the house. You know that. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. You know you don't got the premium seats. That's all I'm saying. You know that. I get sitting up there for the regular season. I don't make it seem like I've always sat premium at the Chiefs game. I wouldn't be sitting up there for this practice tonight. I'm going to tell you that much. I can't do that. I got to walk up all that spiral. I got to do all that to watch Gardner Minshew. I'm not doing that. Come on now. I can't do that. You a better man than me. I can admit that.
But parking is $60 tonight, unless you want the premium parking, which is far more expensive. If you're sitting in 321, you ain't paying for premium parking, so we're not going to waste time discussing that.
No, I got you. Someone said, I paid $50 a piece for 2 tickets. That's in section 112. I'm taking my 5-year-old, so that's priceless. I mean, hey, if you're happy with it, I'm with you. I got you. Someone said, I'm trying to take the kids for the experience rather than spend $200 ticket during the regular season. No, I get you. That makes sense to me. If you're taking a kid today, you're trying to save a little bit of money, I got you. No, that checks out. That makes sense. I follow you. I'm on your side. I want everybody to be happy. If you swipe your debit card on this section 340 road 25 for 47 apiece, and you and the little one up there happy, hey man, go crazy. I hope you enjoy tonight's preseason football game. I really do. I hope it's a great time for you and the family. Rob, let me ask you this. This is kind of related to what we're talking about, but not really related to it. I don't know how many away games that you've been to as a fan. I've been to my handful of away games. I've been to Missouri football away games. I've been to basketball. I've been to a couple Chiefs away games. You know, I've got a chance to go to other people's stadium. I'm telling you that drive home after your team just got the beats is one of the worst feelings about being a fan. It's a top 5, bottom 5 feeling is what it is. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you went down to New Orleans. Maybe you didn't go to the Super Bowl, but you wanted to be in New Orleans around the Super Bowl, you know? And you're sitting there and you're in a New Orleans pub and you're watching the Eagles just pummel your Chiefs. It can't be fun. You might have had an amazing trip up to that point. I mean, the beignets was good. The gumbo was amazing. That's your first time being down there. The sights, the sound. It's Super Bowl week. You're thrilled. You get to support your team. And they lose? I'm telling you, it's the worst. I was telling Vernon the story. A couple of years ago, Mizzou played at Hilton Coliseum. I was really excited to go to Hilton. I'd never been to Hilton Coliseum. I wanted to go see it. I had decent seats. I was like, hey, Missouri got pummeled. They were never in the basketball game. Not fun. I watched Missouri play at Arkansas a couple times in basketball. I've never seen them win. They always lose every time I go. And then I got to make that drive back from Fayetteville. It's not that fun. But at least that's here in the States, you know? I ain't never been to Ireland to watch my team play. I feel bad for a K-State fan or a Cyclone fan because I'm guessing this is a trip of a lifetime. You don't just go to Ireland on a whim. It's not Orlando or Vegas. You got a plan to go to Ireland. You got to get your passport in order. You got to figure out where you're going to stay. I don't know what their currency is, but you got to make sure you got everything all together. You go over there and you're seeing things that you can only dream of. You're seeing things that you've seen on Google or things that you've seen in the encyclopedia or on TikTok. You're living it. You get a chance to go to some of the most iconic places in the world. You get to go to a real Irish pub and drink beer and hear the songs and take in the culture. But then you're there for football. and you go there and you see your team get beat 27-13 and come out lifeless, I don't know if you can consider that a good trip at the end of it. 913-586-7965. Can you still have a good trip even if your team loses in the process? Because some of you have made this trip before. Maybe you went to the wild card game between the Chiefs and the Colts. I was at that one. Miserable drive home. Maybe there's another sporting event that you've been to, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that test your patience as a fan. When you make the decision to go to a road game, because that's a real commitment to go to a road game. And when they lose and you got to drive back and you got to come back to the trip after your team lost, I'm telling you, man, there might not be worse feelings as a fan.
So I think the magnitude of the game and or the distance of travel really affects things here. Because I have done a couple trips within the Big 12 to go see my team play. I've been to Stillwater, I've been to Manhattan, I've been to Norman, I've been to these places, and if it's a 4 or 5 hour drive and you can do it in a day, down and back, and after your team loses, you and your friends driving back, it's a bad experience. Do not get me wrong. It's unfun. It's unpleasant. There is nothing to like. It is very, very, feeling. Like, just bad. I will tell you this, though. The further you go on a trip or the bigger the game you go on a trip for, the worse and worse it feels. Because you mentioned that Colts playoff game. Now, the snowstorm changes things. I would say the average fan had planned on staying in Indianapolis that night. Do you know what you don't want to do if you travel to watch your team lose? Go out on the town. If you're a K-State fan, as you mentioned, you're in Dublin. This is an incredible experience. The Emerald Isle, the whole deal. If they lose to Iowa State, you know what you're not going to want to do? Stay out in one of the more cool countries in the world. You're going to want to sit in the hotel room in silence. If you're a fan that has traveled for a bowl game, Carrington, I know we went to the Cotton Bowl a few years ago. Now, Mizzou won, so this didn't happen. But if you had driven down or flown down to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl and Ohio State with, I don't even know who's the quarterback from that day, Devin Brown, hot. And spank Mizzou, you would have been like, this is the worst. The bottom five experience.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
There are KU fans listening that have traveled to an Elite Eight game and they lose. And it is an absolute awful experience because you feel stranded in the town. So it's bad no matter what, but there are levels. If you are in an airplane and you're traveling, it makes it so much worse. Like we could call Gold. Gold went to the Chiefs and Packers game a few years ago. He wanted to see Lambeau, Sunday Night Football. He was so excited. I'm betting at like 10-15, he hated that he was in Green Bay and he had spent all that money to go watch his team lose.
Now, there's one thing I gotta disagree with you. I mean, I'm gonna be disappointed, but if I'm over here in Ireland, win or lose, we going out after this game. We going out after the game. You ain't wearing the
colors, though.
We going out.
You're going out in a new T-shirt and jeans.
You're right. I don't know if I can wear the K-State garb after an L. I got to go just put on a regular white T-shirt. I don't know if I can go out there in the garb. But trust me, I'm still going out in Ireland if that's the case. Reading people's stories about this experience and driving back, oh, my goodness, it's so funny. I'm serious. It's so funny. Someone said the drive back from Manhattan after leaving Lubbock when K-State lost 68-14 was the worst drive of my life, and it's not even close. Someone else just sent in one. The 2018 Final Four. I can't ever remember a time it felt like I was longer in the car driving back from San Antonio after watching Villanova shoot 130% from three. I'm telling you, it's one of those fan experiences that if you haven't been there, there's no way for you to properly understand this segment. You have to have been in this scenario. When you travel to go to a game, because it's the hype, the excitement, like, man, it's a big game, and, you know, it's a lot that goes into it. You got to get the tickets and the travel and where you're going to stay, and, man, you're having such a good time, and there's so much hype and anticipation, and then they come out and lay an egg. Oh, my goodness. It cuts your soul deep. You guys think you were hurt by the AFC Championship game and they lost to the Bengals. That's the same feeling you have for a Week 2 game when you go travel to see your team play. It's a terrible feeling. Absolutely terrible feeling. Then you're sitting there and the opposing team's fans are all happy and they're mocking you. And you like want to cheer for your team, but you got to conceal it. You can't really let it out. I'm telling you, it's bad. I don't want that for K-State fans. I really don't. I'm cheering for you guys. I really am. I'm serious. I'm cheering for you. I want you to win. I want Iowa State fans to be the sad one. I don't want you to be the sad one. I really don't. I don't want you to be sad.
I will say this. The flip that coin over, a top experience as a fan is when you go on the road and your team wins. I've been in Bramlage when KU went in there and beat Jacob Pullen, and I'm telling you, elite time. I had so much fun that day. I couldn't have been a happier guy if I tried. I've been in some tournament games where KU wins. Incredible. At a neutral location, this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying myself. K-State fans, you guys play in a bowl game like every year. I'm sure you've gone to a bowl game. Maybe last year in Phoenix when they played Rutgers, and you win and you have a better time. Going to an opposing team's game and watching your team go into their town and beat them, as bad as losing is, it is it's more fun than watching at home. Like, I enjoy going to local games. Arrowhead, they're all great. If you watch your team win on the road and you can see the soul leave the building, it's so much better. So much better.
Seeing people on the text line, the 2007 Big 12 championship game when Missouri lost to Oklahoma, a devastating drive back from San Antonio. Someone else, the drive back from the Fiesta Bowl in Dallas when Arkansas beat K-State and I had to ride back with my dad was the most depressing thing I've ever experienced. Someone on the text line is saying how they went to the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. So you're in there and you got to do it. I'm telling you, man, it's a feeling. It is impossible to describe if you've never been in this situation. Let's talk a little bit of Chicago Bears, and we'll get back to the Chiefs and the Royals coming up in just a bit. I don't think that there is a team this offseason that did more to try to support their quarterback than Chicago did or has done in the last, 2 years. Think about everything that the Bears have done to try to see if Caleb Williams is good. They spent a top 10 pick last year on a wide receiver, Rome Odunze, very talented wide receiver out of Washington. This season, they got rid of their head coach and got the number one coaching candidate this offseason was Ben Johnson. I saw what he just did for the Lions offense and Goff. You need to come do that for us. So, home run hire at head coach. They spent another top 10 pick on a pass catcher. They spent their second round pick on another wide receiver, Luther Burden, #MIZ. They went out and traded for Joe Thuney. They went to go pick up Jonah Jackson. There is not a quarterback in the league over the last 18 months has their organization given you more tools and more weapons to see if you can play. Now, I'm a believer in the year two jump. We have a lot of examples of the year two jump. Lamar Jackson took a big jump in year two. Remember, like a decade ago, Carson Wentz from his rookie year to his second year. Like this, I can give you a bunch of examples. There's a lot of quarterbacks who they had good, solid rookie years, or they were a little bit below average, and boom, Jared Goff is another quarterback that comes to mind. Was a drastically different quarterback that second year than he was the first year. I think that it was a pretty solid foundation for Caleb Williams. Don't think it was the best infrastructure in place, but I think he put together a really solid year. I'm telling you, this season, if Caleb Williams doesn't win, there will be nobody else to blame but him. That is how it will be perceived by everybody. Local, national, everybody. They've given you everything you can ask for. You got a completely rebuilt offensive line, They gave you DeAndre Swift. They gave you a top 10 pick at tight end. You got 3 legitimate wide receivers. The Bears probably have one of the top 10 defenses in the National Football League. They gave you the head coach you need. What more do you need to go out and have success? I actually don't think that there's I would say, second-tier quarterback. I don't want to make it seem like he has the same pressure of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Those guys' pressure is to win the Super Bowl or get over the hump and beat Patrick Mahomes. The Bears need to make the postseason this year. They have to. If this ends up being a 7-10 year, 8-9, they're okay, middle of the pack, it will be very, very noisy around Caleb Williams this next offseason. So I know the Bears are in town. They play the Chiefs. I mean, there's not that many Chiefs storylines. We'll see what happens with Kingsley Suamataia. We'll see how much he plays. He only played 10 snaps in the last preseason game. It was a mixed bag. There's not really much else from a storyline perspective for the final Chiefs preseason game. It is 1, 2, 3, don't get hurt. That's what it is. It is 1, 2, 3, don't get hurt is the motto today for the Kansas City Chiefs. Nothing else matters to me. I don't care. I don't care how anything else goes for the Chiefs today. Just don't get hurt. But for the Bears, this is a really intriguing offseason for them. They're a really interesting team heading into the year. The NFC North is one of the few divisions that I think you can make a case that everybody could win. It would not surprise me to see the Lions, Packers, Vikings, or Bears win that division. It feels completely wide open. The Lions have to be considered the favorite, clearly because they've been the best team in the NFC the last couple of years, at least in the regular season. The Vikings, they won 15 games last year, 14 games last year. The Packers, they're usually a very good double-digit win team. And the Bears have made so much improvements to take a step in the right direction. You could convince me that any one of those teams wins the North. You also could convince me that any of those teams takes a step back and ends up being one of the more disappointing teams in the league, and that's what makes the NFL so fun. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. Let's get back to the Royals. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the seventh inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
we'll be back after this.
It's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Ready for your dream Las Vegas vacation? Enter BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you'll have the chance to win a customizable Las Vegas experience. It's easy to enter. Just sign up for a BetMGM account and download the app or log in with your existing account. Then place your bets on your favorite sports to earn up to 25 entries. You could win a trip to Vegas that includes an MGM Grand Stay, travel accommodations, resort credit, and your chance at an exclusive sports, entertainment, or club experience. Score the Las Vegas trip of your dreams by entering BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you could be on your way to your perfect Vegas vacation. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please make sure to read our full terms and conditions before participating in this promotion. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
You ever wonder what the K has in common with Waikiki? One's got the roar of the crowd, the other, the roar of the surf. Dirt on the base paths meet sandy beaches. And Hawaiian shirts? Actually, they've both got those. On Saturday, August 30th, when the Royals take on the Tigers, the first 15,000 fans take home a limited edition Royals Hawaiian shirt, presented by Miller Lite. Cowabunga, KC. Tickets at royals.com/promotions.
Football is back, Labor Day is around the corner, and Hy-Vee is ready for fall. Stock up on all your fall favorites during the gigantic 3-day sale this Friday through Sunday. Invite your friends and fire up the grill with Bar S Franks just 98 cents a pack. Doritos chips just $2.99, Pepsi 24-pack cans for $10.99, and Brew Pub Pizza just $4.99 each. Let's go, you fans of fall. Rush to the gigantic 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I love saving money, and Hy-Vee is always finding new ways to save me some dough, like the new lower prices in every department, and one of my favorite things, the fuel savers. Just the other day, we saved $1.10 per gallon on gas with the fuel savers at Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and seeing those fuel savers, getting those products, and saving that money. Don't miss the special fuel saver deal on Monday, August 25th. Stock up your cart and earn stackable fuel savings on every dollar you spend. The more you spend, the more you'll save, only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Bob's had the same car, Betty, since high school, and that was a while ago. Bob's dealt with wipers, slow starts, and a few warning lights. And every time, Bob went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped with free services and the right parts to keep Bob and Betty on the road. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You've got a new crash downtown, 35 southbound past the levee. The left lane is blocked. That is a wreck Overland Park, 35 northbound past 95th. 2 left lanes blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we'll dive deep into the Royals. A couple of news, a couple of notes before we do that. This actually is a Chiefs or a Royals topic. It can go either way. Rob, what do you think the number 1 draft pick is at the concession stand? Like, if you're going to the concession stand during a football game or a baseball game, what do you think is the number 1 overall pick? Because some people might say beer, but everybody doesn't drink beer. Everybody at the game can't drink beer. So I don't know if that's the number 1 overall pick. I think the number 1 overall pick is nachos. I think nachos is the number 1 overall pick. It's a very shareable food. You get one thing of nachos, you and the wife can get some, you and the kid can get some. So it's shareable. It's usually, I think, fairly priced. Nachos aren't normally too ridiculous at the stadium. I mean, they're not cheap by any means, but none of the food out there is cheap. You can really get creative with the nachos. You might go a helmet nacho. You might go a chicken nacho. And I usually think that the nachos do a really good job of holding you over until you can get an actual meal. Like, you're not eating the concession food to get full. The purpose of it is, oh, man, I'm hungry, but I got to get something to eat right now. And I can't wait until we leave here so I can actually get real bang for your buck. So where am I going to go now? What am I going to get that possibly gives me a little bit of value? Rob, that's why I think nachos would be the number 1 overall pick in a concession stand draft. What do you think the top pick would be?
If the draft parameters are that we are not looking for a meal, because I would say hot dog is the number 1 answer, because hot dog is just synonymous with sports, but I would say have 3 or 4 dogs, that's a meal. Like, that's not a snack. That's not a concession. That's not a tide me over until dinner. I think you're on the right path, but I think you pick something that has too high a variance. Popcorn. You cannot go wrong with popcorn. If you've ever been in a football game, baseball game, basketball game, and if someone like offers you from the bag or from that little, red and white lined box and they offer you some popcorn,
that's fair.
Have you ever been like, ugh, no, disgusting? No one says that. Is it synonymous with sports? No. But it is the safest bet, and it's the perfect snack to tide you over.
I actually think it is with basketball games. I think popcorn and basketball games go pretty well together. Also with baseball, not really a football snack as much, but I could go for it. I don't mind popcorn. Popcorn makes a good pick. Another suggestion, someone said a chicken finger basket. That's a solid one. usually around somewhere between like 11 to 15 bucks. You get like 3 chicken fingers and like a handful of fries. That could normally hold you over until you eat when you leave. A chicken finger basket that's not a bad one. Let me share a Royal stat with you guys. This is a very, very good stat. This comes from Rainey Gisarelli. Shout out to him. Yesterday, the Royals, they had 8 walks. Yes, they had 8 walks in their game yesterday. I don't know what's happened with the Royals. The Royals have drawn 52 walks in their last 11 games. That is the highest total that the Royals have had over any 11-game span since 2009. Now, I don't claim to be Mr. Baseball. You know, I'm a casual baseball fan. I can admit that. Seems to me that the Royals, for some of their offensive deficiencies, they've been able to make up with it by just having better, more professional hitters that make contact, put the ball in play, and just getting on base. The more base runners that you have, the better chance you have of scoring runs. This is a very, very simple concept that you guys were thinking, well, obviously, no blank, Sherlock. The Royals did not have that figured out. They didn't have that figured out. That the Royals, now, they have more punch now than they had in the early part of the season. But, man, one of the things that could have helped the Royals out early in the season was just getting on base. How many times have we seen the Royals, nobody on, 2 outs, the Royals would just hit a single or a double that just ultimately led you nowhere? Well, you get on base, you take a walk, who knows what can happen? You can generate a little bit of offense. So it is not surprising to me that as the Royals have improved the bottom half of their lineup, and now you just have better, more professional hitters that do a better job of putting the ball in play and a better job of getting on base, guys that now take walks are more selective. It is not a surprise that their offense is performing much better than it was at the beginning of the season. Sometimes sports are simple. They really are simple. This is one of those stats that, obviously, this is why the Royals are better. They're better at getting on base. They're better at putting the ball in play. That just allows you to be a more efficient offense than we've seen them be for most of the season. You know we love percentages and sample size on this show. Well, did you know that right now the Royals, according to Fangraphs, they have a 27% chance of making the playoffs. It was also just the 4th time in team history that the Royals won at least 8 games on a 10-game homestand. So the Royals are hot. Their odds are continuing to go up. They made up all the ground on the Rangers and have passed the Rangers. They're just 2 more teams in the crosshairs for the Kansas City Royals if they actually want to do this thing, if they actually want to make the postseason. You can live with a 1-in-4 chance of making the playoffs between now and the end of September. You can absolutely live with the 1-in-4 chance. That can only really go up from here if you just continue to do what you need to do and take care of business.
What's crazy about that stat is, and the percentages and all the things, I remember we were talking before the show Monday, like, hey, let's pull some stats. The Royals just swept the White Sox. They got the Rangers coming up. Let's see how excited people are for, the next step. Let's keep them informed on the numbers. And I pulled the numbers. The Royals, according to Fangraphs, had a 12% chance on Monday to make the postseason. On Tuesday, after a win Monday night, it was at 17%. Their percentage has basically doubled after a good week of baseball. Just to highlight how, we are in the home stretch of the baseball season. Those numbers make marginal moves in April, May, June, and even into July. You were at 34 games left of the baseball season. Every hot streak, every cold streak has a higher value. So the Royals have not only disposed of the Rangers, which you mentioned, they have literally doubled their percent chance to make the postseason per Fangraphs, and you will take 1-in-4 all day, especially considering you would say they're playing some of their best baseball right now. If there's that, what's that old adage? It's not about when you peak, but they are playing their best at the absolute perfect time. And the more and more time goes on, it does feel like maybe there's all the factors are coming in play for the Royals to sneak into the dance, and let's just see what happens. I discounted it in July. It does kind of feel a little 2014-ish where they came out of nowhere and made a run to end up in the postseason.
Someone just texted in talking about the food topic, going back to that. Someone said, can we all agree that cotton candy is the last pick? I don't think that cotton candy is the last pick. I think cotton candy is off the board if you're over the age. Like, if you can actually buy food at the stadium, then cotton candy is just not on the board for you. But for those of you that have little ones or have taken a little one to the game, if you get out of the game by just getting your kid one cotton candy, you won. It doesn't matter what the score is. It could have been 8-1. You get one cotton candy. You go out to the little K, let them run around, do the little carousel, maybe do a little batting practice at the little K. If that's all you end up spending at the ballpark, that's a win. No, cotton candy is not the last. It's just off the board for me. Rob, it's just off the board for you. There's no scenario in which you and your wife are sitting there sharing a cotton candy at the baseball game. None. But if you got an 8-year-old, I'm telling you, one cotton candy, one trip around the bases at the little K, one little carousel, one slide. You came out all right. You won. So, no, I'm not going to disrespect cotton candy. It absolutely serves a purpose. It's a nice long reliever if you need it to be. You know what I mean? You're not wearing that player's jersey, but you need a good long reliever if you want to win a championship. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get you some numbers about the Royals and what they need to do down the stretch. We'll also get you ready for tonight's preseason game, which you can hear right here on 96.5 The Fan. Keep it locked in right here. So drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You've got a new wreck out near Blue Springs, and it's going to be 70 westbound past Adams Dairy Parkway, right lane blocked. It's a multi-car crash. And just before that, a wreck, 70 westbound past 470 left lane blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
A blood emergency has been declared in the Kansas City region, and donors are urgently needed. Now through August 26th, donate with Community Blood Center and be entered to win tickets to the Chiefs home opener. Visit SaveALifeNow.org or call 877-468-6844 to schedule your donation today.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals on all your favorite season predictions. So you can take a flyer on the MVP race. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is 6.5-1 to win MVP. But further down the board, how about Tampa Bay Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield sitting at 25-1? Maybe you want to crown your champion in August for a divisional race. How about taking a flyer on the Jags in the AFC South, sitting at 3-1 to win their division? Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700
or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials, the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Low around 69.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
You can listen to the Royals and Tigers Friday, August 22nd on The Fan, AM 610, with Vern's On Deck show starting at 5. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. I hope that you had a great week. Maybe you're heading out to Arrowhead Stadium. Maybe you are heading home to watch the Chiefs as they play their first game in 2025 season in Arrowhead Stadium. But I appreciate you listening and making us a part of your drive home and a part of your day. Now, I don't tell you guys this all the time because if a lot of people knew this, they would try to use my powers for evil. But I have the ability to see into the future. I have a very special ability to be able to predict things. And that's why I chose this career path, because I want to use my gifts to help you guys. I'm going to tell you how tonight's going to go for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's beautiful outside. Maybe you're going to have a couple adult beverages. Not too many, but just a couple. You're going to get a nice hamburger, maybe a hot dog. Maybe you take tailgating real seriously, so you're going to have something even better than that. And you're going to walk in there, and you're probably going to do the Arrowhead Chop, or I don't know what it is that you do. I can't see that. And you're going to go, and you're going to hear the music, and you're going to have all those feelings that going to Arrowhead brings you. You know, it's an amazing time. And I think the Chiefs are going to do you a solid today. I think they're going to let Patrick Mahomes play for just a little bit. Just a little bit that you remember what it's like to cheer for Patrick Mahomes. Just enough that you remember what it's like to cheer for Travis Kelce. And right when you get into it, they're going to take him out of the game. And that's what they should do. They're not going to play too much. They're not going to play too little. They're going to play just the amount. If I was Andy Reid, this is how I would handle it. We're going to do, and we're going to script the first 10 plays of tonight's game. We're going to treat this as close to a game week as we can. We're obviously not showing you the high-level plays. Well, you know what? We're going to keep it simple. We're not going to put any special seasoning on this. You know what we're going to use? We're just going to use regular salt and pepper. I mean, there's better seasonings out there, but nobody has ever gone wrong with a little salt and a little pepper. That's what I would put on their game plan. A little salt, a little pepper. They go out there, they play, 7, 8 plays. Chiefs kick a field goal. Hey, Pat, you know what, man? Why don't you go get ready to go to Brazil, man? That's what I think the Chiefs are going to do. I think they owe you that. You guys give them a lot of money. Preseason, parking, regular season, postseason. Pat can go out there and play for a little bit. Travis can go out there for a little bit, catch one pass, get up, signal first down. They can do that for you, but that's it. We got much more important games, much more important memories to make this season at Arrowhead, much bigger things to do. That's how I see tonight going for you out at Arrowhead. I want you to have an amazing time. Some of you are taking your little one out there. Maybe it's their first Chiefs game. I hope that they get the full experience that you can get for an August football game. I hope they get to see Pat. I hope that Taylor's there. She waves at everybody. And then, you know what? I want Taylor Swift to leave in the middle of the first quarter because the game is over. That would be in everybody's best interest. That's how I see today's Chiefs game going. Let's talk about the Royals. We got a lot to get into in this 5 o'clock hour as you were heading home. Let's talk about the Royals. My big theme for the Royals for the next, 10 days is going to be face your fears. If the Royals miss the postseason, they will miss the postseason because of two things. What are those things? Number one, it's going to be because of June. They were not good in June. They were 8-18 in June. That's not good. Not good at all. But the second reason why the Royals could potentially miss the postseason is this season they have been 22-37 against teams who are 500 or better. Well, they have 34 games left. And, well, what do you know? 19 of those games are against teams that are 500 and better. Now, I'm not telling you that the Royals need to go 17-2 against those teams. That's not really realistic. And if they do that, I mean, we're talking beyond the third wild card. They might be the top wild card team if they can go on that kind of streak. But again, that's not necessary. That's not what we need the Royals to do. The Royals need to do something that, quite frankly, they have not done at any point this season against the good teams. They just got to tread water. Now, we have used that term loosely, I would say, over the first 100-something games of the season, but now they actually have to do it against the good teams. We talked to Vern earlier, and Vern's like, well, I don't want to put a win total on it. I will. That's fine. 6 of the Royals' next 9 games are against the Tigers. You got to go 3-3 against the Tigers. I don't care which 3 you win. I don't care how you win the 3. You have to go at least 500 against the Tigers. Those 19 games that they have remaining, they have 6 against the Tigers. They have Cleveland, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Toronto. I mean, Detroit's making the playoffs for sure. Philadelphia making the playoffs for sure. Toronto, Seattle, that is the team that you were in direct competition with. You're playing the heavyweights. And for the most part, when the Royals have played the heavyweights, when they've played the better teams in Major League Baseball, I gave you the numbers, they have been knocked on their keister. That is all the Royals need to do. They just need to be competitive against the good teams and then continue what they have been doing. When they play the White Sox, pummel them. When you play the Angels or the A's or teams that have no postseason aspirations, those are the games that you get fat off of. Those are the games that you really get going. Go 500 or around 500 against the good teams and really get going against the bad teams. And if you do that, there is a clear pathway to you winning somewhere between 85 to 87 games. And that gives you a realistic chance in making the postseason and getting back to the postseason and being a dangerous team that's hot, that I don't want to say nobody wants to play, but if you can get everybody healthy back in your rotation and keep this offense going, you can definitely make things interesting for a team in the postseason.
I said this earlier on the show, and some of the text line says, guys, let's be honest. If you do the math, the Royals are going to play 17-16 ball down the stretch, which ends them at 83 wins. That's probably coming up short. I agree with that. I say if we probably did that same game in 2014, probably earlier in August, you would have had the Royals as out. I don't know the Royals are going to end like 2014, get hot and make the postseason. I don't. I would bet no because, it always favors the skeptic, but I don't know. What I do know is since the All-Star break, they have been a different team. And that different team is a problem for people right now. They've already won 2 of 3 in a series against the Blue Jays since the All-Star break. They've beaten the Cubs 2 or 3 in Wrigley since the All-Star break. They have Detroit tonight. I know that the stats say when the big dogs come to play, the Royals get smacked around, and the big dog gives them a big problem. I know that. You know that. We all see that. But I would tell you, the team that you saw in April and May, and Vern's been saying this a lot, is different than the one you're watching in August. I think this Royals team has a chance. Obviously, you'd like to win a series against the Tigers, but it's not, oh, they're screwed if they don't. You just got to hover against those good teams and wallop the bad teams. And what did the Royals do in this last week? They swept the White Sox. They took 3 of 4 from the Rangers. 2 teams that are sub 500 and would fall into maybe the Rangers aren't bad, but they're the not good category of baseball teams. If you do that and you just keep your head above water against the Tigers and co., maybe you can have that 2014 moment where it was just you were hot enough at the right time and you were able to work your way into the postseason. That's the dream for the Royals. And a month ago, 2 months ago, I would have told you Royals fans, text line, whoever, social media is crazy to even discuss the Royals and playoffs in the same breath because it's done. Right now, not only can you discuss it, I think it's very likely. You're 2 games back and 3 games back of the first wild card. That is in the thick of the race.
We'll get to college football here coming up in a bit. I also want to play a chunk for you guys of Derek Young. He is in Ireland. He was on earlier today to talk a little Kansas State football. I want to give them the respect that they're deserved as a preseason ranked top 25 team, a team that I think can win the Big 12, and a team that plays a really important game to kick off the season in Ireland. I also think, I guess, in the same vein of what we're talking about with the Royals, sometimes you got to take your wins where you can get them, and you got to count your blessings. The Royals don't have to go against either the best or second best pitcher in baseball in this series. We'd be having a different conversation if Skubal was on the mound. That's probably not a game that you can count as a win. I mean, you could probably win. I mean, it's baseball. Things happen. But you're not going into that feeling like a favorite, and you are not considered to be the favorite. The fact that you avoid Skubal for this, now you get him in the home series, I believe right now, if you look at the probables, he would pitch next Sunday against Noah Cameron. The fact that you avoid him in this series, it gives you a chance to win 2 out of these 3. You don't feel like there's already one game you got to chop off, and that's a likely loss for you. So this series, I know it's on the road. It's against a very good team it feels inconsistent at times in this second half. You got to do what you got to do, and you got to take care of business. You got to keep stringing good series, good days, and good moments together, and continue to hope to continue that momentum as the season progresses. Let's talk a little college football before we play a chunk of Derek Young, who joined us on the show earlier today. One of the reasons that I love college football is this week 0 matchup. Now, it's a little bit different with the college football playoff, but I guess maybe it's not because the automatic qualifier for the Big 12, and the Big 12 just isn't a league that's going to get 3 or 4 spots, right? Like, that's just not really one of those kind of leagues. This is a really important college football game to get things going. The Big 12 feels like a league that's going to come down to tiebreakers and who did you beat. And the fact that you are playing another one of the contending teams during this time is really big and really important. Whoever wins this game gives themselves a significant leg up to kick off the season. So that's good. That's great. Whoever wins this game puts themselves, I don't want to say the driver's seat because it's mid-August, but you put yourself in a good position. Hey, you can win the Big 12 if you win this game. I don't know if you could find 2 teams in the Big 12 that feel more even than these 2 teams. From a coaching standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, from a skill position standpoint, fan base, like these 2 programs feel like they are mirror images of each other. This is a true coin flip kind of game to kick off the season. Usually, and at least maybe it's kind of, the tide is actually kind of turning. I feel like week 1 and week 2 and week 0 used to be cupcake playing Power 5 school. It's just not really what it is anymore. It's games like this. Hey, we're going to kick things off from week 1. We're going to play a game that really matters on ESPN. Great. I'm excited for it. Next week, think about it. You got LSU going up against Clemson. You got Texas playing against Ohio State. You got games that really, really matter to kick off the college football season. Michigan plays Oklahoma in the early portion of the season. Like, you got games that really, really matter. This is what makes the sport so fun, and we need more of this. And one of the reasons, Rob, why I am against them continuing to water down the regular season and essentially water down the postseason is games like this have to matter. Who wins this game? This has to matter. It has always mattered in college football in determining who can win your conference, who can win your league, and who can move on in their season. And the fact that you were getting this at the very beginning of the season, this isn't just a big deal locally. This should be a big deal nationally for, again, a conference that feels wide open. Arizona State can win this league. Utah can win this league. K-State, Iowa State. A lot of these teams feel like they got a shot at it, and K-State or Iowa State, they get the first crack at it tomorrow morning in Dublin.
I am very excited for the KU game tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I'm a KU fan, season ticket holder, blah, 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 blah. I am far more interested in K-State, Iowa State tomorrow than I am KU because of all the things you mentioned. And also, we can be honest about not just college football, but sports in general. The team you are in week 1, week 0 is not the team you are at the end of the season. So in theory, you could argue that these teams are facing each other at their worst. This is the lowest they might be this season. And you get a top 25 matchup, you get 2 really good quarterbacks, you get 2 good coaches, and you get it on a neutral site on national television, 11 a.m. College game day is there. Like, neither school's going to gloat they got game day, but college game day, Pat McAfee, Nick Saban, the whole crew is there. I hope college football sees, the powers that be, sees this today, or tomorrow, and tries to do more of it. I think we're seeing it in week 1. A lot of major matchups in college football. I think we're going to start seeing it more in week 0. Give college football fans more than just Kansas versus Wagner or Alabama A&M against Tennessee. Give us real quality games with meaning early in the season, and we will watch. And this Big 12 game between Kansas State and Iowa State is that in bunches.
Earlier today, we got an opportunity to catch up with Derek Young. He covers Kansas State for K-State Online. Here's our conversation with Derek Young.
At least since it's been called the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, that this is the first time that the 2 teams playing in the game are both ranked in the AP poll, both in the top 25. Obviously, Kansas State 17. I believe the Cyclones sitting there at number 22. So it's a pretty big game just when you put those numbers across the table and show everyone that. But it's also a pretty big game when it comes to the conference. I mean, Kansas State's going to play all 3 of Iowa State, Baylor, and Utah away from home this year, even though this one is actually considered a home game. And I think those will be 3 the most pivotal probably in determining whether or not Kansas State's in Arlington playing for a Big 12 championship or not, to be honest. So it's interesting in that way. And like you said, pretty even teams in terms of caliber. Both teams returned their starting quarterback. Iowa State is Rocco Beck. Kansas State has Avery Johnson. Both teams looking to replace maybe a hole in their team. With Iowa State, it's the receivers. They lose both Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, who will be collecting NFL paychecks this year. Kansas State also has the secondary to figure out and maybe a little bit of the offensive line.
Where did this rivalry come from? And I guess maybe more specifically, how did this rivalry get so competitive? Because I'm just remembering as a kid, I don't really feel like it was that big of a deal, but it really feels like it's taken on a life of its own over the last 10 years or so. These 2 fan bases love to go back and forth. They've got a nickname for the game now. How did we get here between K-State and Iowa State?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it started with the fan bases kind of going at it on social media. It's a new era now in college athletics, or just the world in general, where social media can kind of contrive or derive certain things. And in a way, I think it's responsible for the rivalry between both Kansas State and Iowa State, and even the genesis of the Farmageddon name. We need to get that name probably more and more popular, to be honest. It's not as popular as it should be, but another part of it is the competition aspect. It's not as lopsided as it once was. Kansas State dominated this rivalry for years and years and years. Bill Snyder just didn't lose to Iowa State. He didn't lose to a lot of teams. Iowa State was one of those. And now with Matt Campbell now in Ames, he's really made this competitive. In fact, he's almost turned it on its head. Iowa State's won 4 of the last 5 meetings.
Right now, we're talking to Derek Young, taking a closer look at K-State and Iowa State. That is going to be the first game of the college football season. I do want to hyper focus in on K-State. I've got a general Big 12 question that I want to get to before we do that. How many teams do you think can win the Big 12? Because Rob and I were sitting here and going through it. I think the answer is probably somewhere between 5 to 17. This feels about as wide open as I can remember for this league.
I would agree. you got Kansas State, Iowa State, Arizona State, and Texas Tech off the top of my head. Some people want to include Baylor. Some people want to include Utah. So that's an easy 6 in my mind. I might even be missing a team that's certainly worthy of contention as well. I know some people thought maybe if Jake Retzloff was still on the roster, maybe you point to BYU. I was never kind of that guy, to be honest. I thought BYU did it last year with a lot of smoke and mirrors. And even with Jake Retzloff was probably a candidate for a little bit of regression. I actually don't think there's a big difference in BYU between having Retzloff and not having Retzloff. But even without the Cougars, I think you're looking at, Utah, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Baylor, Kansas State, Iowa State, a lot of teams that can win the conference. And last year you looked at the league at the end, I think there was, 4 teams tied at 7-2. It wouldn't be a shock to see that once again.
I think this is what the Big 12 future looks like, and I don't mean this with any disrespect towards Kansas State, but the Big 12 just doesn't have that traditional football power the way that the other conferences do. There's no Clemson in the Big 12. There's no Ohio State. There's no Alabama. You get the point that I'm making. I think there's going to be years a lot like this year. I really like K-State. I really like Arizona State, but I don't think you can consider them to be the odds-on favorite. It feels like it comes down to a lot of swing games like the one we have on Saturday between these two teams that feels like a coin flip, and whichever team wins that, they have a significant advantage the rest of the way.
Yeah, there was a lot of years where if you were asked, would you take Clemson or the Field to win the ACC, you were automatically picking maybe in Alabama's heyday with Nick Saban as head coach, if it was Alabama or the Field, you pick Alabama. And maybe you still will. I think the interesting thing with the SEC is they talk about the depth, and rightfully so. It's a really good conference with a lot of good teams that would all probably be at the top of the Big 12 if they were in the Big 12 conference. But Georgia and Alabama have won 10 of the last 11 conference titles. So, but if you're in the Big 12, is there a team where you pick over the Field? There's not a single team you pick over the Field. What I am curious about moving forward in the Big 12 is there a team or two that maybe flexes their financial muscle if teams can still do that? I'd imagine, even with some of the rules that are trying to be implemented, that will still be a thing. Because if so, then Texas Tech and BYU are going to be interesting case studies.
Taking a closer look now at K-State, I really like Avery Johnson. I don't think he's taken that next step to kind of be in that household names that people around the country will get to know him. Like, he's not a DJ Lagway, not Lenore Sellers, at least in terms of like public consciousness. What do you think he needs to do this season to enter that conversation and be a guy that people are talking about as a dark horse Heisman candidate? And if that ends up being the case, K-State wins the Big 12, in my opinion.
I don't know about you or anyone else, but it's exactly what he actually said at a recent press conference, which I loved hearing. He said, I'm done feeling like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. I'm just going to make the right play, the accurate play. I'm not going to try to do too much. I'm not going to try to make the play that's not there. I'm also not going to listen to everybody outside of my sphere of influence that says, you got to be a pocket passer, or you got to be a dual threat quarterback that just runs it all the time. Instead, I'm going to be that quarterback that makes the correct play, the right play. So if we need me to win, to run for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns to win, I'm going to do that. If we need me to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns to win, I'm going to do that. That was really something that I liked hearing, because I do think he gets himself trapped, at least last year at times, in being a pocket passer. I'm going to prove to people that I'm not just a runner, or I'm going to prove to people that I can still run. Enough with that. Just make the right play, the correct play, whatever it calls for to win games. And to hear him have that answer in a recent press conference, I think was great, as long as he actually is going to adhere to it. But I think that's just what it is. I think that's the secret sauce.
I'll get you out of here with this last question, because I want you to go enjoy everything that Ireland has to offer. Give me your K-State wins if scenario. Give me your Iowa State wins if scenario.
K-State wins if they're at least +1 in the turnover margin. The interesting thing is they've lost 4 or 5 to Iowa State. In 5 of those games, all 5, Kansas State's turned the ball over at least twice. And 4 of those 5, Iowa State doesn't have a turnover at all. So, I mean, that's a significant piece of this rivalry lately, is the turnovers, for whatever reason, are going Iowa State's way. So Kansas State wins if they protect the ball, and they're probably at least +1 in turnover margin. Maybe it's +2, but I'll say +1. Iowa State wins if Rocco Becht plays the way he did against everyone else against Kansas State, because he was nothing really short of a disaster last year. And Iowa State still won, but I don't think they can win with Rocco Beck's performance last year.
That was our conversation with Derek Young earlier today in the show. He covers Kansas State athletics. I think all three local colleges have very unique quarterback situations heading into the year. We'll get back to the Royals coming up in just a bit. And KU, we have not forgot about you. I understand that Saturday is also a very important for you game for you guys as well. I think Kansas State has the best quarterback out of the three local schools. I think their quarterback has the highest potential and highest ceiling. But I think this is a really, really important and pivotal year. You guys know I'm really big on completion percentages. You are not winning the Big 12 if your quarterback is completing 58% of his passes the way that Avery Johnson did last year. You don't need Avery Johnson to be the best passer in the Big 12, but if he takes the necessary step forward as a passer, and you're also combining that with the guy who ran for 600 yards last year and 7 touchdowns and averaged 5 yards a carry, you will have a very legitimate chance of winning the Big 12 because you may have the best quarterback in the Big 12. I don't think anybody can tell you what Jalen Daniels is going to be this year. He got off to a really slow start at the beginning of last season. He played much better the second half of the season. Kansas then played much better at the second half of the season. They are the most easy team to figure out, maybe outside of Missouri, and I think Missouri is in a very similar, and we'll talk about them. How good KU is this year really depends on Jalen Daniels. 100%. If Jalen Daniels has a bounce-back year and is good this season, KU can win 7 or 8 games. If it's the same Jalen Daniels that we saw early in the season against UNLV, KU will be a 5, potentially 6-win football team this season. They have so much riding on him just being good this year. For Missouri, I think right now you just got to put a pin in it. You just don't know. You have 2 options. One option came in very highly touted out of high school, but just hasn't played a lot of college football, hasn't played for you. Another quarterback that was a backup last year at Penn State that really showed a lot of promise when he got a chance to get on the field. He just didn't get on the field a lot. I don't think we're going to get that answer against Central Arkansas. It's Central Arkansas. Like, that's not answering any of your questions, but it is not that long from now until Kansas plays Missouri in football. So, hey, you play a good team, let's see who their quarterback is and how their quarterback looks. All 3 local schools have, I would say, quarterback questions. Varying degrees, but all of them have quarterback questions heading into the season. Coming up on the other side, we'll find out if you can learn anything about the Chiefs tonight, and we'll also talk about Vinny Pasquantino, who has been hot, hot, hot. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. You know, confidence is key. You hear that all the time when it comes to everything in your life. The players that we watch and all the winning that we see comes from players who are confident and are able to deliver when it matters most. What if you could be more confident where it counts? I'm talking about Blue Chew. They provide access to chewable tablets that help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Day nights just got longer and better for everyone. Be ready when she is. Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. This isn't just about performance. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's an offer for you there. You get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just cover $5 in shipping. That's it. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
Get ready, KC. August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris, Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Hi, this is Megan, your friend and jeweler from Shane Company. Did you know not all warranties are created equal? At Shane Company, our free lifetime warranty is all-inclusive and even protects the diamond in your engagement ring. We can offer such an incredible warranty because our rings are crafted to last a lifetime. As your friend and jeweler, our gift to you is peace of mind. At Shane Company, we also cover unlimited repairs, resizings, and cleanings for free for life, saving you thousands over time. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It is out of here.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the 7th inning stretch of a televised baseball game,
We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate or BPH could be the cause, and Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for in client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500.
Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working the wreck, 70 eastbound past Lee Summit. It is the 2 left lanes that are blocked. And Olathe, that's a stall. 35 northbound past Santa Fe, 2 right lanes blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Chris Jones from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I've got like a handful of things I want to talk about before the show ends. Thing number 1. Is Joe Thuney going in the Ring of Honor? I only ask this question because we understand that a lot of people during this era are going to go in. Now, I'm not here to question what he did while he was here. He had a fantastic career with the Chiefs. He was a part of multiple Super Bowl winning teams. He was an All-Pro multiple times, a second-team All-Pro player. Joe Thuney did a lot of things. Excuse me. The only reason I ask this question is because if I ask you guys Tyrann Mathieu, I think it would be a lot of split. It'd be very mixed on if Tyrann Mathieu should go in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. He has as many All-Pros as Joe Thuney does, and was also part of championship teams. So if you're going to tell me that you don't think that Tyrann Mathieu is a Chiefs Ring of Honor guy, I can listen to that argument. I don't know if you can then put Joe Thuney in because their resumes are so similar. If the argument just is, well, the Chiefs lost to the Bucs and that's why Tyrann Mathieu isn't in, because that's really the only difference in what the two accomplished. It's the only difference. Do you think Joe Thuney gets in?
It's a very difficult question to answer for this reason. Guard is just difficult. You pointed out the other day when we were talking about surefire Hall of Famers. I think he's a Hall of Famer, like Canton, but there aren't a lot of guards in the Hall of Fame. It's just a difficult position to get in. I would imagine outside of Will Shields and Brian Waters, are there a lot of guards in the Chiefs Ring of Honor? And Will Shields in Canton, and Brian Waters won Player of the Week one week because it was just an insane week in the NFL. But like, I think he's in the Ring of Honor. But I think the fact he's a guard and the one contract kind of affects things. I lean yes, but if he's not, I'm not going to be upset about it, if that makes sense.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't be upset either when it comes to that conversation.
I also think for Tyrann Mathieu, for comparison, I apologize for interrupting, Tyrann Mathieu had a bigger impact on the Chiefs. Not that he was a better player, but there was an impact felt beyond just the field by him being a presence, and it was like a culture shift. Joe Thuney was just a good player. There was a different feeling to it.
So, like, someone just sent a text in, got to play here longer than a couple of years to be a team Hall of Famer in my eyes. But I also don't know if, like, that's not really the qualification that the Chiefs have. Like, I'm trying to pull it up so I can see exactly how many years that Willie Roaf played in Kansas City. But Willie Roaf did not have some long-standing career. In fact, Willie Roaf played the exact same amount of time in Kansas City as Joe Thuney and have the same number of first-team All-Pros. Now, I think that Willie Roaf's a better offensive lineman than Joe Thuney. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying Willie Roaf played 4 years with the Chiefs and he is in the Ring of Honor, and no one is arguing that Willie Roaf should not be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. The only reason I asked this question with Thuney, not trying to diminish his career at all, where does the line start for who should go in the Chiefs Ring of Honor? Because there's probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 guys from this time period that I think are just no question. Like, no question, why are we even arguing it? We're not going to argue Kelsey. We're not arguing Mahomes. We're not arguing Chris Jones. Like, there's some guys we're not going to argue. I wouldn't argue Harrison Butker. Like, I think Harrison Butker deserves to be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor based on his contribution, and he has had some of the most memorable moments in Chiefs history. So we're talking about like 7 or 8 guys. Are we talking about putting like 12 to 13, 14 guys in? And where's the line? Like, where's the cutoff if we're talking about Chiefs Ring of Honor for players who played during this dynasty? Frank Clark, is he a Chiefs Ring of Honor guy?
So we can name all the fringe ones. Frank Clark was one that came to my head immediately as a fringe guy. Like, what will end up happening with, I'm trying to think of other fringe guys like that. I mean, Tyreek Hill's a no-doubter. Sammy Watkins is a no. I think Frank Clark is in, similar to that culture shift that Tyrann Mathieu's in. But again, it's not one where I'm going to be like banging on the table, you have to put him in or you can't put him in, either one of those. Like, it feels like, I don't know, there's a hard, distinct line where I can say you have to achieve X, Y, and Z. It's going to be very much a feel thing, very much like a presence, for lack of a better term. And I don't know how to, like, because like McCole Hardman, now he wasn't a great player, but McCole Hardman's a no, even though he was an all-pro in town, but like, he's a no despite more time than Frank Clark. There's a tough line.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it, and people are asking the question, what about Tyreek Hill? I didn't even think that Tyreek Hill was a question of whether or not he should be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. It's a no-doubter, no-brainer to me. He's arguably
he's the second best receiver in the history of the team.
Yeah, it's not even close. And I mean, we're not even arguing if he played enough time. I mean, Tyreek Hill played as many years in Kansas City as Priest Holmes. No one is arguing on whether or not you think that Priest Holmes should be in the Ring of Honor. So why are we arguing on whether or not Tyreek Hill should be in the Ring of Honor? I mean, Tyreek Hill, his average while he was here in Kansas City, let me pull it up because that first year is a little bit quirky because he was just kind of figuring things out. I mean, Tyreek Hill, while he was in Kansas City, averaged 80 catches for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns a season. Like, I know it maybe didn't end as favorably as you wanted. Come on now. Like, what are we doing? Like, no, Tyreek Hill he's a no question, no doubter Chiefs Ring of Honor player that I understand it's a little contentious now. when Tyreek retires and he's out of the public spotlight for a little bit and they bring him back, Tyreek will receive love from the fans whenever he decides to come back. One day they'll ask him to bang the drum. He'll bang the drum, and he'll get a standing ovation because he was a really good Chiefs player.
I feel like time heals all wounds. Yes. Tyreek Hill, eventually people in town will get over it. I mean, Tony Gonzalez is in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, and there are people who don't like the way he went out. And it was a no-doubt Ring of Honor for Tony Gonzalez. So, yes, I can't believe we're having a Tyreek Hill discussion. He seems like an obvious one.
Yeah,
it's like a layup.
I'm reading the text line. I have Tyreek as a fringe player. Someone else says, could you let a guy like Tyreek in after he talked so much trash in after he left? That doesn't bother me. I'm sorry. That just doesn't bother me. Someone said Priest set an NFL record and had arguably the greatest 3-year stretch of any history. Don't compare Tyreek to that, no matter how good he was. I think you guys are now forgetting how good Tyreek Hill was. Tyreek Hill in 2018 had 87 catches for 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns for the Chiefs. We don't got to do this with Tyreek. Now, again, I'm with you. Priest was a dog while he was here. Let's not act like Tyreek also wasn't a dog. In 2020, Tyreek had 87 catches for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns and helped him get to another Super Bowl. Tyreek was one of them ones, like legitimately one of those ones. So, yeah, he is not a fringe Hall of Famer to me. He is a no-doubter. I think he is a NFL Hall of Famer. I don't think it's that close when it comes to Tyreek Hill. He should absolutely get in. So, yes, he should be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor. I wanted to talk about Vinny Pasquantino. We got carried away with the Hall of Fame conversation. I'm always here for that. Vinny Pasquantino, his last 162 regular season games, he has an average of 260. He has hit 34 home runs. He has 119 RBIs for the Royals in his last 162 games. Vinny has been, that is one of the best offensive stretches that any Royals player has ever had in their franchise's history. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that this offseason and what they do, but Vinny is certainly part of their plans long term. Coming up, we'll give KU a little bit of love as we sign off for the day. Keep it right here, so drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done, fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size, fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right now in Missouri. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stat lines, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your cash and play with as little as $1. It really is that easy. So select those Sundays and find which stats you want to go higher than lower than over at Underdog. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TAP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done, fast. We've got a huge variety of metals in stock, and we cut to size, fast. Bottom line, we get it done fast, so you get it done fast. Doesn't get easier than that. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or buy online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Why buy your next vehicle at New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paola? Simple. Honest guys that don't need to add big city overhead into the price. Search New Century Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to see the complete inventory.
Well hit. Go ball. Gone! Royals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV home and streaming home of the Royals. Beautiful. And there are more ways to watch this season. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Royals without blackouts. Yes! Or watch through a TV provider. Right down the middle. Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, Cox, and more. Love it! Learn more at royals.com/tune in.
They are relentless!
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working the crash out near Lee Summit, 70 eastbound past Lee Summit. It is the 2 left lanes that are blocked. North KC, that's a 2-car crash. 35 northbound before Parvin, blocking the left lane from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center on Valor. 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to play this for you guys before we sign off. Michael Swain, he covers the Jayhawks. He's actually seen the new stadium. He breaks it down for us.
I'm really impressed. You know, I don't know what my expectations were. I tried to go in kind of without a preconceived notion of what it would look like. And it really looks top notch. And I think it's one of those things where fans that have been going to KU games for a long time, have been through, you know, bad football and started to see good football, they're going to have the chance to really enjoy a game day around the stadium and outside of just what's going on the field, between, you know, accessibility, concession stands, like sightline stuff. I can talk for days about the sightlines. Because that is so much different than the old booth, where you look at the east side right now, and it is so gradual the way it goes up to the top row. Well, when you're on the other side, right, the west side or the north side, like, you can go up to the top, and it feels like you're still right on top of the action. And I think that part is really cool, that fans that are sitting in, you know, what would be, quote-unquote, the nosebleeds, right, those are still darn good seats. Like, you got really good, you know, a viewing ability there, and then also with all the concessions around. Like, I just think top to bottom, they did a very good job.
What does this say about Travis Goff and the athletic department that he's built? We were just discussing this before you popped on. KU's had some big football moments in the last handful of years. They were on College Game Day. They had that big win at Texas. They beat Colorado last year. They're opening up a new stadium, a completely renovated stadium. They just got a massive, massive donation from David Booth. What does it say about Travis Goff and his vision as the athletic director as they head into this next phase?
Yeah, well, KU definitely has the right person leading the way. You can look, I mean, there's so many different ways you could go to. Obviously hiring Lance Leipold, first of all, right? He hired the right person for Kansas football, and that has really unlocked all of this. If he had hired the wrong person and KU had kind of stayed in the bottom of the Big 12, this isn't happening because there is not the donor support to do it. There would not have been just generally the push to do it from the actual football office, right? Lance Leipold was a driving force in this. It was in his contract that if KU did not start the stadium project, that he was going to be able to look elsewhere. And so I think those two things combined really helped the stadium thing get going. And then I think it says a lot that a billionaire like David Booth trusts Travis Goff in his athletic department with $300 million, right? People like David Booth don't get in that position by being stupid with their money. And the fact that he is willing to give that sum to KU speaks volumes about what he thinks about the athletic department and Travis Goff. So, look, I mean, like that donation period is going to help KU with revenue sharing. It's going to help them consistently have revenue streams. Having this new stadium and all the premium seating is going to help generate a lot of revenue for KU in addition to just the gate receipts from other tickets. Like, KU as an athletic department is in a much, much healthier spot entering a phase of college athletics where, the athletic department has to give up $20 million a year to give to players. That's a lot of money. And it's not something anyone was factoring in 3 years ago. And the fact that KU is able to be in this position now is super important for just the long-term health of the athletic department and the ability to compete on multiple fronts.
Right now, we're talking to Michael Swain, who covers the Jayhawks for 24/7 Sports. They get things going in Week 0. They play host to Fresno State. Michael, I think this is just a solid game. This isn't one of the marquee games in the early part of the college football season, but this is a game like a program like KU. This is a good game to take. You're playing a Power 5 school that we all have heard of before. You're playing them at home. This is a game that's easy to kind of sell to your fan base. You're not playing Cupcake State. This is a legitimate way to kick off the college football season.
It is. I probably would disagree that it's a good game for KU. I think Jeff Long gave this athletic department a little bit of a turd with this one because playing Fresno State is no joke, even with a new coaching staff and with the transfer portal additions. Like, KU's fortunate that this is not a Fresno State that returns, 18 starters and their head coach and comes into KU looking to put up a big-time performance. Like, you look at the other Power 4 games they've played, they kept it close with USC, Oregon, and Michigan. Right. That's the program we're talking about. That's not necessarily the team you want to be opening your season against if you're KU, but of course the circumstances are a little bit different now with, they're also breaking in a new roster. But for KU, I think that's what makes, tomorrow night so interesting is the fact that it's not Lindenwood, right? It's not Wagner coming in for this first game inside the new stadium. It's a legit game and it's a legit team and a really good coach in Matt Entz, right? You don't win multiple FCS titles by being a bad coach. And so they're going to be really well organized. They're going to have a game plan coming in. And I think it's going to be a really good test for KU to really see where they're at. I know there are probably some fans on KU's end that feel like, hey, it should be a 20-plus point win. I don't know. I think this could be a situation where going in the fourth quarter, maybe it's a 2-score game. I just think that you're going to see Fresno State try and take the air out of the ball. They're going to try their best to be physical. We'll see how that plays out. But I think for KU, it's an interesting game. The fact that this is in Week 0 gives KU a lot more eyeballs, right? If this was next weekend, this would be on ESPN Plus or, it'd be on FS1 at, 6:30 or 11 a.m. Like, it wouldn't be a marquee game. And so KU gets to play a good program with a good head coach.
I'm rooting for everybody this weekend. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Royals. I'm rooting for the Wildcats. I'm rooting for the Jayhawks. I want all of us to be happy when we come back on Monday. Take care of yourself. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with